What is up, crew? It's your boy Kaycem, and today's stream we're going to be going over how to draw the head and the neck. It'll be the core fundamentals of drawing these things out, and I'll be going over a few tips and tricks as well that you'll be able to use for your own drawings to make sure you're getting some of that juicy head drawings. A few things that we're going to also cover today is how to get a little bit of a stylization, because some of you might not draw in a realistic style. Maybe you're drawing in a cartoon style or an anime style or whatever have you. And so today's stream will talk a little bit about that as well. Now, if it's your first time here, my name is Kaycem. I am a Filipino art streamer here on Twitch, and I teach everything from anatomy, gesture, perspective, and all things character design. And I also currently work full-time in the animation industry for the studio that made Castlevania. So if you guys are interested in some free art education, or you're just looking to hang out with my dog over here, make sure you follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Whoo, man, I'm getting good with these intros. One take, Andy, no script necessary. We just go. We're just out here. Thank you guys for everybody typing hi YouTubes in the chat. Appreciate that. But yeah, as the intro stated, today's stream is going to be a little fun because I have here 3 references which you guys can go on the Discord channel and download, by the way. These are free to grab, so I'll show you guys really quick because I know some of you guys don't know. Maybe it's your first time here. But these are all free to grab while I'm live on stream, and so I will share with you the 3 that we have today, the 3 resources. We have here today's worksheet. So here are the 3 references that you guys can use and follow along with me. We have here this cheat sheet right here, which I made talking about the fundamentals of form. And then we have another one here, which is a little bit more about foreshortening, volume, and all of that stuff. So these 2 are kind of the first cheat sheets that we have for this boot camp, which eventually I'll be compiling all the cheat sheets that I make into a digital book. It'll be my first ever digital art book. I'm very excited. I'm trying to do all of the drawings and stuff you see are my drawings, and that's kind of what I wanted to do for this year, because I think last year when I made my cheat sheets, some of them were just compilations of resources that I found, but this year I really want to make something that I want to call my own, if that makes sense, you know, like my drawings, my own book-ish thing. So yeah, so I'm pretty pumped to be doing that. So make sure you grab those guys. And yes, today, so we have here Denji, because I know some of you might be like, Kaycem, you know, I don't really draw in the realistic style and stuff, or like, how does all of this anatomy and stuff still apply to stuff like anime, right? Does it still hold true? Should I still be thinking about the skull and proportions and all of that stuff in 3D form? And so today I want to take an example like Chainsaw Man, the character Denji here, and I'll be going over some of the things that are happening in this, you know, this face of Denji, and then I'll also be drawing it in my style, because I don't think I've ever drawn any Chainsaw Man fan art, but also I think it might be a fun little mini series for me to take anime characters or just characters that I like, and then just drawing them in my style, or maybe even just drawing them in a very like realistic style. So I don't know, we're trying some new things out here today, but let's start with the first one here today, which is going to be this reference up here. I think it's a good one to start off with. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about when approaching this reference is mostly just talking about a few of the tips that I do whenever I'm trying to draw a head, but also giving you guys some advice on some common mistakes I see beginners make when they draw heads, but especially in something like this angle. All right, so let's, I guess, get started on drawing. But yeah, how's everybody doing today, by the way? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Sheesh, thank you for the tier 2, Molly, for 31 months. I feel like you are an OG veteran out here. Crazy. 31 months. I think that, you know what I think is so insane? Oh, thanks for the heads up, Spike Mare. Yeah, it should be day 2. I think it's so insane that next month will be my 3-year anniversary on Twitch. Like, I think that's so crazy. Like, to have done something for 3 years, first of all, is already insane. You know, that's basically almost a whole university. That's like almost high school right there. But also just I don't know, the fact that I did it all on Twitch and I kind of documented my whole art journey on Twitch, I think is also something that I definitely don't take for granted. I think it's a very cool thing that I was able to do, and I'm glad I did it. And we'll be celebrating for sure. Next month will be a big celebration, and I think there's a lot to celebrate. So make sure you hang tight for that one. Let's see here. I caught the big virus, so all I can do is lie in bed and draw. Damn, sorry to hear about that, Quidity. I hope it goes over soon and you feel better as quickly as possible. But so for this one right here, I wanted to go over some of the angles here, because I think we've done a lot of angles in the last stream where I showed you guys kind of the tilting your head up angle and stuff. But now we're going to do it the other way around, and I'm going to show you some examples of characters where maybe their heads are tilted downwards and how we might approach some of these things as well too. And again, part of it is also going to be talking just about some of the general structural advice I would give when it comes to drawing heads. And you'd be surprised, for work, this is actually a common, these shots right here are common shots in animation, and you kind of have to know how to do these. Like, these are seeing a character, like looking down on a character like this on a close-up zoom face shot. Common shot. I had to do a bunch of these the other day. Yesterday, in fact, I did a shot just almost like this. And so these are good to practice, good to get comfortable with, especially for those of you who are looking to get into animation, or just even looking to spice up your character designs and give them a bit more of a dynamic feel, you know? Oh man, that's rough to hear, by the way. But let's go ahead and talk about the head here. And so one of the common things that we talked about last stream was really just kind of visualizing the structure. And so I want to do that again this stream, where I want to show you guys a little bit of how I visualize the form. And so here, even though we're drawing like a round shape and stuff, and it's a pretty complex form, what I'm trying to also do is I'm trying to imagine here as if this was a 3D plane, right? So imagine if this was a box that you could fit this head in. And so this is kind of what I like to visualize when it comes to drawing my characters, right? So here you can kind of see. Here's my box here in perspective. And it's not super accurate, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly accurate. I just wanted to show you guys a bit of a demo there. So let me just kind of shrink it down a bit so it matches up better. But I always try to visualize, again, these planes, because if you can do this, I think it'll really help you to start understanding, like, okay, the head is this way in perspective, and if the head is like this in perspective, that means I can line up the facial features in perspective as well, right? Because now that we see this, we can say, okay, cool, that means that the eyes are going to land right here. The brows are going to land somewhere like right here. Maybe the nose lands somewhere like right here. And then we have that hairline, which lands somewhere like right here. And all of those things are going to be in perspective, or at least in the relative perspective that we've established for this face, right? So I think in this case, what I'm trying to really focus on here, and what I want you guys to really, you know, get out of this, is the idea here of perspective, and how even when you're drawing something complex like a face and you're not drawing buildings or whatever, perspective still exists, and it actually is applied across all the details that you're seeing in a face, things like the eyes, the brows, and all of that, right? So this was something that I had to learn. And here's the thing, even when you know it, even when you hear to do it, it doesn't actually necessarily mean that you're, like, just knowing about it doesn't mean that you're going to actually do it when you draw, right? And what I mean by this is, like, let's say you watch a YouTube video, right? You watch a tutorial and you're like, wow, I've learned so much. But it is not until you actually practice and apply these things yourself that I feel like you are truly learning the skills that you are, you know, hearing about and stuff. So I highly recommend you guys, when you do your drawings and stuff, try to look at some of the perspective, look at some of the structure and the proportions there, and see if they still line up well, because, you know, they might not. And that might be part of the reason why you feel like maybe the eyes are lopsided or why the nose feels a little off, right? So I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about there. But anyways, let's go back here, and I'm just laying out some of the general perspective that we have right here. Okay, so you can kind of see how the perspective there is important. But now let's kind of go in here and let's actually start just drawing out the face and stuff. All right. And thank you for the follow, Sharma Ronan. Welcome in. General perspective. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? People think, oh man, Kaycem, when are you going to cover perspective? You know, when are you going to talk about like buildings and all that stuff and 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective, fisheye lens and all of this and stuff. But it's interesting because perspective is actually such a core fundamental that it exists in almost everything we do with our drawings, as long as we're considering form. And so naturally, even when we're drawing a character like this, or if it's just a portrait, we can still utilize perspective. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking about general perspective tips. These are some of the things that you'll see there. But here's some other things you want to consider. So when you're drawing a face, something like this, and this is why I chose this reference, one of the things that I want you guys to pay attention to is notice how the face actually curves, right? So a common mistake I see when I see beginner artists and stuff show me, you know, their art and their drawings and stuff, is that it feels flat, right? It feels flat. And part of the reason why I think that happens is because, one, there's not a lot of spatial awareness, but two, because of the way that we might have been taught to draw, like the whole anime style of, hey, draw a circle, right? And then after that circle, draw a line, and then draw a triangle here for the cheeks or for the chin, right? And if you've ever learned that way, which is how I learned when I was a beginner artist and I was reading those how to draw manga books, this is how you were taught, you know, use a flat circle, use a flat triangle. And the problem with using these kind of techniques is it doesn't actually apply, especially when you start getting into the complexities of different camera angles, or when you want to do a dynamic shot or a dynamic face, right? Having that flat face is really not going to help you out at all. If anything, it's going to actually bring you down. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll actually, hold on, I'll do this on a new layer so I can show you kind of a comparison of what maybe the before and after and stuff. And hey, thank you for the follows today. Bliss Aesthetic, and also you not found. Welcome in, guys. What does the line that horizontally, or let me put the chat out for YouTubers as well. What does the line that horizontally cuts the square in half represent? What does the line that horizontally cuts the square in half represent? The line that horizontally cuts the square. Oh, you mean, do you mean this one right here? If this is what you're referring to, this line right here that cuts the square in half, that's just where eye level is. So if you ever study a lot of different art styles and stuff, a pretty common thing that artists will do is they'll put the eyes relatively at halfway. And it varies depending on style. Obviously, you might have a little bit over the halfway, a little bit below the halfway. But a good general kind of rule there is that the head usually, or the eyes are usually at about halfway horizontally from where the top of the head is to where the chin is. And again, this is not considering hair volume and stuff, because obviously if you have a character like Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh, where they got like the spiky hair that's twice as tall as their head, obviously their eyes are not going to be halfway from the top of their hair to their chin, right? You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm talking about there. But yeah, that's kind of the I think that's a good question. Hopefully that answers your question there. Or sometimes feel like standing in front of the whiteboard and going, it's all connected. It is. It's crazy how it's all connected. 100%. And also thank you for the follows. Eguibertino. Thank you. And hey, how's it going, bots? Yeah, so sometimes, for those of you wondering, yeah, when I pull up the chat, it's usually just to like highlight a specific question or just a message or something, you know, because sometimes you guys are not paying attention to the chat, or you're watching mobile or something. So I try to show the chat when I can. But anyways, going back here. So let's talk a little bit about how I would approach this if I were to draw this one normally. And then I'll show you guys what a common mistake would be if that I see among like a lot of beginner artists and stuff when it comes to drawing, the head, especially something at this angle, which I think is actually a genuinely tough angle to draw. Again, it's It's one that I do a lot for work. And even when I do it at work, when I draw angles like this for faces, man, it's hard. It's genuinely really tough. Oh shoot, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thick ass oatmeal. Congratulations to Cools 007, Candy Lady, Luis 9000, 9000, Short Sparrow, and also more Dorinka. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. The gratitude is always appreciated here on my streams. Damn. How are you doing today? Yeah, can everybody just give a clap real quick? I don't know, man. The generosity is insane. Thank you for putting the claps in. Thick ass oatmeal. Great name, by the way. I love oatmeal. I know some people don't like oatmeal, but I actually really like oatmeal. I used to eat oatmeal every day as my breakfast, and now I just get too lazy to even have breakfast. But when I used to have breakfast, oatmeal was like my go-to. Oatmeal, banana, put a little bit of honey on it. That's it. That's all you need, man. That's the breakfast of champions right there. Oh, and then I eat 2 boiled eggs because you got to get your protein. But these days, eggs are expensive. Okay, these days, if you buying eggs, you got money. All right, you got cha-ching. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. But yes, oatmeal is love. That's 100% facts. I have no. That's not even a lie. No debate. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, faces, right? So as I was saying, faces like these are so common, especially in animation and stuff, or at least ones. It depending on the animations, obviously. But if you're gonna look at, let's say, a more kind of like semi-realistic or adult animation, stuff like Castlevania, Legend of Korra, those kind of things, you will commonly see this face angle pretty regularly. And so getting a good hang of it and understanding some of the intricacies of this will actually, I think, be beneficial. And hey, welcome in everybody. But you buy my eggs from the farmer's market, no high prices yet. Okay, that's a good strat actually. I've been having to buy mine from the grocery stores, and they've been kind of going off the chain. Maybe I should find a like a, what's it called, like a farmer's market kind of thing. Sounds like a good idea. So one of the things I want to call out here is, again, when it comes to this angle, I think one of the most important things that you want to do and really start to pay attention to is paying attention to how the face really has a lot of overlapping forms. You'll see that in the brows. You'll see that in the, let me clean up the jaw here, or the forehead here, but you'll see that in the brows here. You'll see that in how the nose overlaps certain features as well. And so all these overlaps really kind of compile together to create a bit of depth for your character. But also I think it really helps sell that perspective a little bit more. So I'm just going to go in and kind of rough this one out. Again, today's stream, I'm not trying to make like cool finished portraits like we did here. My main goal today is just to kind of give you guys rough quick demos, and then maybe at the end, if we have time, I'll do this demo where we actually draw out Denji here in my style. But you know, I think let's kind of go focus on these things first. And so I think here one of the things that I see as a common mistake is that you really want to kind of make sure you're capturing the roundness here. And so notice how the brows are really forming this roundness around the head there. So not only are we selling the perspective, but by utilizing and making sure our features match up well, we're also selling a little bit of the form of the head too. So pay attention to these subtle details. Again, I'm not here to teach you how to draw in my style. That's not the goal here. But it's more about kind of tips and tricks that you can make sure you're including in your illustration to kind of push it up even further, right? Egg prices are on the decline now. Thank goodness. I bought eggs, I think like 2 weeks ago, and they were still pretty pricey. But I'm glad to hear that the prices are coming back down, man. The market's okay now. Yeah, they were like $6. It was no joke. It was actually really expensive to buy to buy eggs, which is funny that we're talking about it now. Also, hey, welcome in everybody, Project U Gamer and stuff. By the way, if it's your first time here and you're kind of wondering like, hey, what is this stream about? What are we talking about today? So on my streams, I teach art. That's kind of all I do here on Twitch is I teach art. And one of the things that we're focusing on today and this week, generally speaking, is talking about some of the anatomy of the head, some of the fundamentals of the head. And so here are some of the tips, and here are actually some of the notes that we took last stream, which you know what? Let's actually take all this. And I will move it over so that way people who are coming in and stuff can kind of see what we did last stream if you missed it and stuff. So this is what we had last stream. A lot of head anatomy stuff there. You guys will see. Let me hide this Denji drawing too. We'll do that later. I'll move this all the way down. Okay, cool. Vivi said you teach art, so I have to follow you. Oh, thank you, Sai. Yeah, I teach art out here on Twitch. That's what I'm known for, and it's what I enjoy doing. So we cover a lot of things, and we're doing a boot camp right now. It's basically focusing on the fundamentals of drawing the face, and so a lot of different things going on here today for sure. Egg giveaway. You got to get them now. You never know when the next egg crisis will be, right? By the way, guys, I do run ads on my stream every hour, and one's going to be running in about a minute or two. So if you do get an ad, thank you again for sticking around for the ad break. They do help keep my streams monetarily viable and allow me to do what I'm doing out here on Twitch. But if you don't want to see any ads, consider subscribing or using a Prime sub. But either way, thank you for your support, and I hope to see you guys after the ad break. All right. It's not happening yet. It's happening in about like a minute or two or something. So, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up. If you're watching on YouTube, there's no ad break. So if you're watching this afterwards as a VOD and stuff, you're chilling. Hey, thank you for the Prime subs, Lily Borealis, and also Salad de Boeuf. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you. And I gotta remind you guys, because I think some people don't know this, but everybody who is subscribed, whether it's a Prime sub or a regular sub, you guys also get access to last year's boot camp. So the 2022 boot camp, which are 3 30-day boot camps, and it covers a lot of fundamentals of anatomy, perspective, gesture, clothing design, character design, how to do character turnarounds for those of you who want to work as a character designer. And so everybody who's subscribed, you have access to that. So make sure to connect your Twitch account to Discord. Check out my Twitch page for all the subscriber videos and tutorials that are over there and unlocked. So because sometimes people don't know this and they just subscribe out of, the kindness of their heart and generosity. But yeah. So just make sure you utilize those free resources. They exist, or not free resources, sub perks, I should say. Those sub perks exist. Okay, I'm going to move this eye just a little bit here just to give it some room. And then for the most part, I think this is pretty much good for the demo. Again, I'm not trying to draw like a super finished face. Nothing like what we've drawn here for Joel, but just kind of a quick little demo there to talk about the planes of the face and overlap and stuff, because I think that's really important, but also something that I think oftentimes beginner artists, don't really focus on or don't realize exists. So this is definitely a big one to start thinking about, how overlap really helps create depth in the face, how it helps give more structure, how it helps also inform the perspective. So it really does pay off a lot, these like subtle details, subtle overlaps and stuff. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Julina. Is this also streaming on YouTube? No, it's not streaming on YouTube, but I'll be uploading it later. I'll be uploading it later on YouTube as a video. So this is mostly for mostly for you guys, but also for the people who watch on YouTube later. They know what's going on. I'd love to learn more about how to draw stuff. I do draw, but I'm like a hyperactive kid with a hammer. That's good. I mean, I think that's not bad to have. There are some people who feel like they have no motivation or energy to draw. So I think having any energy at all to draw is good. It's just a matter of maybe directing it a little bit, right? Giving it a little bit of guidance, and then that way you're hammering away in the direction that you want to hammer away. And oftentimes that's how I think that's a good tip of life, honestly, not just with the drawing, but sometimes people wonder, they're like, man, I got like, I want to draw and I want to do this, but my energy's pointed, but I feel like I got no energy. And I was like, maybe it's because your energy's pointed in the wrong direction. Maybe you're spending a little too much time on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. By the time you want to draw, you got no energy. Your dopamine has already been hit. You're good. You feel like you're not there, and you're like, could be it. I don't know. Thank you for the follows, Firebird 8499. But yeah, okay. Are you guys back from the ad break? Can someone let me know if they're back from the ad break, just so that I can make sure I continue here? I don't want to reveal too much info and stuff. We're back? Okay, cool. So let me do a quick intro of myself, by the way, for those of you who are here for the first time. This is one of my few intros that I try to do on stream and stuff. But if it's your first time here, welcome into the Kaycem crew. You want to do a camera flip? Okay, we'll do the legit camera flip. Fine. Okay, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome in. My name is Kaycem. I am a Filipino art streamer here on Twitch, and I teach everything from anatomy, gesture, perspective, character design, and all of that good stuff. And I also work full-time in the animation industry for the studio that made Castlevania. Currently, right now, I'm prepping to work as a character designer for shows like Castlevania, Legend of Korra, and Invincible. So if you guys are interested in some free art education, you're looking to learn a few things, or just hang out with my dog, make sure you follow out here, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. All right, there you go. That's the flip. There you go. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Dessert MP3 and Firebird. Appreciate you guys coming in here. Okay, but let's go back in here, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the common mistakes I see, because this is like, let's say, all right, this is how you would draw the head at this angle and stuff. But let me show you guys some common stuff that I see that happens, that beginners tend to do, right? So what I see is, let me move it over here. Or actually, here's what I'll do. I will move this, and this. Oh, and this over here. Okay. So sometimes what I see beginners doing is they'll do something like this, right? They will have the facial features here, but they keep everything really flat. So you kind of put the flatness here. You put the eyes here like this, right? And part of the problem there with having this feature is, again, that's not necessarily how the face works. I think oftentimes, we think it's flat because of the way that maybe we are, how we learn it first, or maybe it's just hard to do. But when you start doing it like this and you have like this flat face, everything feels like it's lacking form. And so, again, you lose out on some of that depth. You lose out a little bit on that perspective. You lose out on some of the dynamic energy there by making everything too flat when it shouldn't be, because there are cases where things should be flat. But even in anime, if you take a look at anime and stuff, notice how there's like overlap here. There's some subtle, proportions there that are kind of getting shifted with the perspective. So, season 3 or 4 of Invincible. Yeah, I'm working on doing stuff for sure. Hopefully it'll happen, or something will happen. So here, the big difference again is kind of, I would say, don't do this, right? So this is like flat features, right? There's no curving going on here. There's no overlaps. And so you lose out on a lot of that depth. And so you want to make sure when you're drawing your faces, especially from these extreme angles, that you want to try to capture some of that energy, right? That exists. I don't know. Here's a nose. So let me do, I'll go here. I'll do it like this. So like here, notice how the brows really shape some of that form there, right? Notice how that cheekbone also kind of wraps around the forms there, helps kind of establish some of that structure that we're seeing here, right? So all of these little small details, even actually the mouth, right? So the mouth kind of curving like that can also help you get a little bit of that form. So like maybe a common mistake I'll see is something like this, where you just have, you know, the mouth there, and so it kind of feels too flat. I don't know if I want to add this blue line here. It looks like he has like a blue mustache or something. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Did that make any sense, guys? I wanted just to show it. And I know that, you know, maybe not a lot of you are making this mistake, but I know that there are some of you who do make this mistake, because I make this mistake all the time with my drawing. At least when I first started, was being too flat with my features, right? I was called out on the mouth. There you go. Yeah, I knew like one of these things, right? Because you might be like, I don't do that with the eyes at all, Kaycem. But you might do with other things like the mouth, right? It's a very subtle thing. We all secretly have blue mustaches. I know. It's, if you look closely and you squint, yeah, we all actually have it. So we got the flow there. So we got here, we've got the I'm gonna call it wrapping. So we're wrapping the forms. Okay, cool. So there you go. That is the first little kind of demo there that I wanted to talk about with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of group all this together. Let me write down one more thing here. Perspective. Don't forget perspective. Perspective is important. There you go. Then you have the follows, Puppy Taz and Yu Chen Photography. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Thank you for quenching my thirst. Fanto, appreciate that. Cool. But next up, let's do... Should we just do this head here? We'll just do this head here. Or we can do... I'm trying to think if we want to add more. I guess we can just do the next head. Or should I do... Here's what I'll do. Let me at least give him some hair. We'll do some of that. What kind of tea is it today? The same tea that I always drink, which is a herbal tea called Echinacea, something like that. I don't know the name of the tea. Or I know the name of the tea, I just don't know how to pronounce it. It's like echinacea. It's just good for it's good for the throat, especially if you're a streamer like me who talks for like 3 hours straight. You know, it's good to have a little bit there. Yeah. You guys want to be sus? The street name for it is called Throat Coat. Yeah, it's called the brand is called Throat Coat. Okay. I know. It's called Throat Coat. I don't know why they thought that was a good name. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it does, but like it's rough out here. I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm drinking some of that Throat Coat, guys. Like, what the heck? Like, if I didn't say it was a herbal tea, y'all would be like, what? What is he saying? What is he drinking? Yeah, it's the brand is called Throat Coat, but it's good. Okay, but there you go. I'm just gonna give him some hair here, just to kind of give him some, you know, some depth and stuff. But again, this is the main thing I wanted to show you guys and talk about for this one was really talking about some of the perspective and stuff there. I'll find you another tea with a less stressful name. Yeah, let me know if you find anything that's like just as good or as effective, but branding wise is a little bit better, a little bit less sus for your boy. I'm a streamer, you know. Okay, but with that being said, let's move on to another face here. I'm gonna just, I guess we'll just like move, just gonna like say goodbye to these things. We don't need these. You've been looking for the throat coat stuff, actually? Is it a Chinese company? No, it's not Chinese. It's just your local grocery store, Safeway, Ralph's, Vaughn's. I don't know what you guys might have, but any of those things usually. How's it going, Tara? Tara, how have you been? I've been good. I've been good. No, not like PayPal cow. Just regular stuff. And hey, thanks for the follow. So many follows today. What the heck? PI1XII, thank you. And also Iridescent Bunny, welcome in as well. Let's go in and I want to talk about a few things, okay? So I think we didn't talk, did we talk about the back of the head last stream? We did not talk about the back of the head. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to take you guys on a quick little detour. Or actually, hold on. Before we even do any of that stuff, let me just talk about a few proportional things, because I think we've demoed this a few times out here. But I want to go over some of the head and stuff really quick. Do I already have a drawing of the head that we can use? Okay, I'm actually going to take this head that we drew here. I'm gonna take this one so that way I don't have to redraw a skull, because I don't want to have to keep redrawing the skull for you guys here. Thank you Parvision, appreciate that. Bots? Are they bots? I don't think you guys are bots today, right? I don't think so. Okay, so let's talk real quick about the proportion here of the skull. And these are going to be general proportions that you guys can use for your drawings. And I think this will be helpful. I think this little diagram here might be the secret sauce, that if there's anything to take away from today's stream, it might just be this one. All right, so let me lower the opacity here of this skull, and I'll lay it all down for you. If you don't mind me asking, how do you quickly flip the canvas on Procreate? I'm fairly new to Procreate and learning the UI at the moment. There's a quick actions tool thing, and then you just set that to flip, and then there you go. Yeah, I don't necessarily know where to go for that, but that's where it is, if that makes any sense. But here's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I want to do let's do it in yellow. Okay, because I like the color yellow. So if you take here, we'll talk about proportions of the head really quick. Okay, because I think knowing this might be helpful for some of you guys who are trying to figure out some of the structure of the head and stuff. Because maybe you're like, you know, Kaycem, I can draw heads in boxes, but what I have a struggle with is getting the features to match up and having the features look and feel like they match. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about that too. Do you watch and read One Piece? Oh yeah. I'm a big, here, let me show you real quick. I'm a big One Piece fan. I'm a big anime fan. I'm very deep in the sauce of One Piece. I've grown up on One Piece, and so yeah, very big fan of it. Let's see. Thanks for the follows, guys. Noah's Vids, Parvision, Crowlock, everyone else here. Finally somewhere near semester break. That was a stressful January, but I'm no good at right now. I'm a little nervous to start painting today, though. I don't want to ruin my good painting strike of the last days. Oh, don't worry about it. You know, I think there's always so much pressure that we have as artists to feel like every time we draw something, it has to be great. But in reality, that's not actually how, I don't know, that's not how you make good progress with your art. I think it's not about making good stuff every day, but it's just about doing something and exploring and realizing that even in those mistakes and quote unquote failures that we make with our illustrations, that even in those we still learn something and that there's always some value out of doing it, right? I think there's always more value in doing art and drawing than not doing anything at all, and then having regret that you didn't do anything. Thank you for the follows, by the way. DKSSY. Let's see here. You're deep in the sauce too? You make theories? No way. I love making theories. Okay, join the Discord channel. I'd love to hear. Actually, there might be some spoilers. Okay, maybe not. Never mind. I mean, you can still join the Discord channel, but I don't know about the theory stuff, because I know some people are very, you know, they're like, don't spoil anything for me. But yes, I do. I also am a big theory guy too. So let's talk a little bit about proportions and stuff. So one of the cool things about the head is at about the third of the way right here, okay, is going to be the flattest point of the head going back right here, okay, and also a third of the way down roughly. So I actually did this one a little bit wrong, but a third of the way down here is also kind of where the back of that skull is going to kind of start there, and when you have the occipital bone. So I'm actually going to bring this skull down a little bit here, just to kind of give a general proportional take there. So these are going to be some good kind of just general guidelines to keep in mind. So a third of the way here is roughly, oops, am I in the wrong layer? A third of the way here, we go, is going to be kind of where that back of that skull is going to kind of end, and where we're going to be inserting the spine and all of that stuff, right? And then let's kind of go in and let's go probably about a third of the way this way. So I'm going to say a third here. Okay. So a third of the way this way right here, the 2/3 is going to be where the highest point of the skull is going to be. So this is going to be, I'm going to call this one highest point. And this is going to be the farthest point. This is going to be the back of skull, or I should say, we'll call it neck insertion. Neck. I'm just making up terms here. Neck insertion. And let's do a few more. So here, okay, here's another one here, a cool one to kind of pay attention to. So this right here, this little section right here is going to be the widest point of the skull. Okay, you can actually kind of touch that in your head right here. It's the widest point in the skull. All right, so again, these are going to be generalizations. Obviously, when you stylize, if you want to draw more of an anime style or whatever have you, you can always change these up a little bit and, you know, have fun with it. But if we're talking about just the general proportions and stuff, I would say this is kind of what you can use as a rough guideline for drawing your heads. And this will come in handy because you might be like, Kaycem, what's the whole point of this? But when you take this head in 3D, which we'll do later, you'll actually see and understand why this is so interesting and so valuable. But let me go draw the head one more time, but we'll do it kind of at a front facing angle here. Okay, I don't know if I have a skull that I already drew, so I'll see if I have one really quick. That way I don't have to redraw a bunch of skulls. I don't think so. Really? No. I have one. I have some skulls. I know I do. Okay, there you go. I have to go through all my notes that I have. I have so many notes, guys. Let's see here. I know we had some questions earlier. If there were any questions that I might have missed, feel free to just retype them. Let's see. Yeah, if there's any questions, just feel free to retype and stuff. You have some skeletons in the closet? I do. Don't we all? literal skeletons in the closet, yes. Okay, so I'm going to take this skull just because I want to draw the back of the skull as well. And I just wanted to have a rough diagram there, so I can work on that really quick. Yeah, welcome in, guys. I know. So just a heads up. I think the next, so like Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, they're going to be pretty heavy on the educational stuff. And then Saturday streams, I would say, are going to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more chilled out. So just a heads up, if you guys are like, damn, Kaycem, like this is heavy, let me know. Okay, let me know if I'm going too fast. Let me know if I'm giving you guys too much info. If you want me to either slow down, or maybe you want me to go faster, or maybe you have questions, please do let me know. Again, I'm here to help you guys and kind of just teach a bunch of different topics and stuff. And so if you ever feel like I'm doing too much or going too far out, just let me know. Okay. And I'll try to simplify it and make it easier to understand, or just maybe talk about some of the basic stuff, because I think, you never know too, like sometimes my audience, you guys might be a little bit more advanced this time, and you might be like, hey, I'm actually looking for some really juicy info, Kaycem. I want all the anatomy, I want all the form, give me everything. And then maybe some of you guys are more beginners, and in which case you might be like, Kaycem, can you actually can we just do some of the chill stuff today? A little beginner friendly toots. In which case I'm completely fine with doing some of that too, right? I try to always do I always try to do a little bit of both. I'm always trying to like find that balance of, giving you guys some of the more heavy concept stuff, and then also giving you guys more generalizations of like things you can do right now if you're a beginner, and some of the beginner mistakes that I see, right? So that's kind of my current strategy is, let's talk about all the technical stuff and all the heavy stuff, and then let's go back in and say like, okay, here's some beginner mistakes. Yeah. By the time I finished my cube, you had a whole face. Yeah, I mean, so I will be working faster. That is true. And I think a big part of that is just because, I have a limited time frame here on Twitch before I have to go to work after. And so I want to make sure I give you guys as much as I can while I'm live. But again, if you guys want to, slow it down or rewatch certain stuff, my YouTube channel, I will be starting last Saturday. I'll be uploading somewhere between 2 to 5 videos every week on my YouTube channel. All of the stuff that you're seeing here will be over there on YouTube. So yeah, if you guys are just looking for a little bit of a slower pace, or you're looking to do it at your own time and stuff, highly recommend, and I would actually really appreciate it, because I'm still a baby over there on YouTube. I'm still fairly new, and so I'm just trying to start things out and get the ball rolling. This seems quite advanced for illustration standing point in regards to bone structure. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is, interestingly enough, this is actually pretty common. Like, these are things that you would probably want to know if you want to work in the industry, especially if you want to do stuff like working for Riot Games. You want to work in animation for more adult animation. So I work in a studio called Powerhouse Animation. They've done stuff like Castlevania and stuff. So if you've ever seen Castlevania, then you probably know that style is a very realistic style and realistic proportions. In which case, knowing things like this actually is really beneficial, because it helps you better understand different angles. But yeah, I mean, I think as a beginner and stuff, I would say don't worry about all of don't worry about all of this stuff right now. As a beginner, I would say as a beginner, focus on the basic forms, focus on the basic proportions and stuff. So yeah, I did not hear about Azula, but also thank you for the follows. Wilsec, Paula Marchu, Pak, and Esquelato. Do you think that in order to make noticeable progress, you need to practice efficiently, like color theory, like practicing anatomy composition? Do I think that in order to make noticeable progress, you need to practice efficiently? I think it's a combination of practicing efficiently, but also changing your mindset, because I think the question about seeing noticeable progress is, how do you even determine what is notable progress, right? Notable progress sometimes is when you look at something and you can clearly say, oh yeah, I've improved, right? But what is the reference point that you're using? If you're trying to say, hey, I like to draw anime waifus, right? I like to draw anime waifus, and I want to get better at drawing anime waifus. But if you keep drawing the same thing every day and you're not practicing new things and trying out and challenging yourself, you're never going to see progress, right? The progress will never be there because you've never stepped out of your comfort zone to make that progress happen. You've never tried to, you know, challenge yourself. And when you have tried, not to say that you haven't, but let's say you have tried it, what usually happens, right? You try to do something new. You're like, you know what? I want to try to draw some male characters today. I'm always drawing these anime waifus. Let me draw some men. And then you draw for like 5 minutes, maybe an hour, and you're just like, yo, this sucks. This looks nearly not as good as what I can draw when I'm drawing my anime waifus. I'm trash. I'm just not going to draw. I'm going to go back to doing my comfort zone stuff, right? Put an F in the chat, guys, if you've ever done that. Maybe not with anime waifus, but with whatever it is you're comfortable with. And every time you try to do something else, and the moment that it doesn't look as good, you give up and you're like, I'll just go back to my usual drawings, my good old stuff that I'm comfortable with. And then at the same time, you ask yourself, you say, I wonder why I'm stuck. I wonder why I'm plateauing. I wonder why I don't feel like I'm making progress. You see what I'm saying? You kind of get what I'm saying, guys? Like it's almost like you're stating the problem and also the solution, right? Because the problem here, or the problem is you feel like you're not growing, right? But also the problem here is that you keep drawing the same thing. And so being able to change your mindset of being able to say like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try new things. And these new things, they're going to look bad. 100%. They will look bad. There will be times for sure where they're going to look like trash. But it is in those moments that going through that trash and pushing through that struggle is where it's really going to help you out in the long run. Because you'll never, you know, it's like, how can you make good stuff without making some bad stuff first, right? It's like, how do you, I don't know. It's like expecting yourself to make something really good right off the bat, I think is pretty crazy to expect. So I would say it's a combination of having good, efficient practice, as in knowing what you want to study and having a goal in mind and having a structure in mind of how you want to approach your studies. But really the mindset is a big thing, because you can, for example, here's another thing. Let's see. How many of you guys in the chat have ever bought an art book or ever paid for an online class or something, but never actually finished it? Put an F in the chat. Let's see. Let's see here. You bought a book. You're like, wow, this is so cool. I'm going to learn so much. You paid for a class. You paid for someone's Patreon. I'm going to learn so much, right? What happens? You don't actually finish it. And so even when you have the efficiency, even when you have the structure and someone gives you a structure of what to study, what happens? You don't follow through because, again, you're not getting out of your comfort zone. You're too afraid to push yourself and try new things and actually have that discipline to continue. So I always say it's not just being efficient and saying like, oh, I need to study anatomy or I need to go study perspective or color theory, because I think a lot of those things you can do that. You can go on YouTube, you can grab those things, but it's not until you change your mindset about how you want to study these things that I feel like you will truly see the benefit and growth that you were trying to so desperately strive for. And I think this is not an uncommon thing. I think we all want to feel like we're growing, right? Like who doesn't? Who enjoys feeling like they're stuck with their art? I don't think anybody does. So that's the advice I would give. I hope it helps. I'm not trying to be mean or call anybody out specifically and say like, hey, you're not, you know, you're messing up here kind of thing. This is definitely just a general advice that I would give to everybody, because this is something I also personally struggled with. I felt like I was stuck for 6+ years with my art. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere with my art, you know? And then I never realized that it was because I kept only drawing the same thing and that I kept avoiding my responsibility to try new things, right? And there are some people, right? So there are some people who prefer to be in their comfort zone. 100%. Yeah, I think if you are content with where you are with your art, that's great. That's completely fine. But if you start asking yourself, man, I feel like I'm stuck, I feel like I'm not growing, right? Then you really got to ask yourself, okay, well, why is that? But yeah, that's little advice I would give there. Thank you for the follows, guys. M4D, Marciu, FJ Lord. Thank you for the resub, by the way, Destiny. 14 months, one year plus. You're getting old out here. We need to start opening up like a senior citizen home here for all you long-term viewers. Thank you so much for the follows, guys. Appreciate that. I hope you guys have been enjoying the stream so far. Again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I just want to help you guys out. I want to see you guys grow. I want to see you guys succeed and really make progress with your art, because I know that that feels good, right? Even if you are in your comfort zone, even if you like only drawing anime waifus, I'm sure a lot of you would love to draw better anime waifus, right? You want to draw them in different poses, draw different types. I don't know. The rabbit hole of anime waifus can go very deep. Okay. So, yeah. And if there were any questions in the chat, by the way, I'm just trying to scroll through right now. But if there were any questions in the chat that I might have missed, just please feel free to retype them. There's so much action that goes on sometimes, and I end up missing it. What? That could be the reason too. Thank you, Miss Brit, for the 13 months. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. But let's go back here and let's talk about the back of the skull here. This is, by the way, the occipital bone that I've been talking about. We've been raving about this occipital bone area here. The reason why is because I find that when I was really struggling in the past with drawing my characters and figuring out how the neck connects to the head, it was really just because I had a lack of understanding of what the heck the neck even was. Right? Like, how many of you guys have ever struggled with trying to, you draw a great face, and the moment you try to put the neck on this character, you're just like, damn, what the hell is going on? Right? I think a big part of that is just me not understanding what the heck, what even is a neck, right? It's a structure comprised of so many different things, like the spine, the jaw, the hyoid bone, all the muscles that surround it, the internal muscles as well. And so by demystifying what the heck the neck is, it can actually help you out tremendously when it comes to trying to figure out how to insert that neck into the head here. And so that's kind of what we're talking about today. Huh? Thank you for the prime sub, L-Yax. And guys, thank you so much for helping me on my sub goal. We're 9 out of 10 out here. You guys are killing it today. I have no clue what's going on today. Is it because I'm being mean? You know how like Ethan Becker is really popular on YouTube, or he was really popular on YouTube because he was always bullying his viewers? Is that what it is? I just got to bully my viewers? What the heck? Thank you guys. Appreciate the, thank you so much. Kaycem mean? I don't know. I feel like I can't. Though arguably my little sister would say that I'm very mean to her, which I don't even think is true. She's always like, "You're so mean to me, brother." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. Go do the dishes." Nah. Let's see here. Ethan Becker is fantastic. Yeah, Ethan Becker's cool. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Spongy Astronaut. And actually, thank you for helping me hit that sub goal today. We hit 10 out of 10 on the sub goal, I believe, right? Am I right? I don't know. I think that's right. And so here we go. Here is what we're going to do. Because we just hit the sub goal, guys, I will give you guys another sheet that you guys can download every time we hit a sub goal. Whenever you guys subscribe or give subs and all that stuff, not only does it benefit me, but it also helps everybody out here in the community who is looking to learn and get better with their art. So let's go ahead and grab these resources. Hold on. Let me pull up the Discord here for you guys. So here are the resources you guys can grab. We have the worksheet here today, by the way. So you guys, if you want to follow along, you can download this one. And make sure, by the way, you click open in browser. Some of you have told me, Kaycem, I downloaded your stuff, but it's low resolution. It's because you might be saving it like this. You want to make sure you either open it in browser or you right click it and then you open the link, and this will give you the 4K resolution. But here are the two cheat sheets that I gave you guys. These are both on the fundamentals of form that I've been drawing. And then here is a head anatomy cheat sheet, which will cover the skeletal, muscular, and general forms of the head. All right. So highly recommend you guys grab this. It's free to grab. It's free to download. Just make sure you do it while I'm live on Twitch. If you're watching me while I'm not live, Unfortunately, these will not be available. All right. So you got to make sure I'm live. But anyways, thank you so much. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for the 100. Thank you for the 500 bits. Oh boy. No, not the cheat cheese. The cheat sheets. Oh man. Do I like any mediums? I do. I like a few. All right. 400. Oh, 400 bits. Thank you. Okay. Kaycem, you've kept the secret that Blood of Zeus was made by Powerhouse. I didn't know you guys watched Blood of Zeus. Yeah, Powerhouse also made Blood of Zeus. It's really good. I did some drawings. I did a little bit of drawing for some Blood of Zeus. But okay, guys, another thing we just hit. We're hitting our sub goals today like crazy today, apparently. We got here the bits goal. If you guys didn't know, every 1,000 bits we spin a raffle. And I think you guys, for some reason, you guys really enjoy the raffle here. So here we go. All right. Here we go. All you guys got to do, it's actually super easy. All right. So here's the raffle that we run out here. I think it's show wheel. Okay. There you go. All right. All you guys got to do right now. Okay. So every time we hit this, we hit this bit goal, it basically, I do a giveaway. I do a raffle giveaway, and all you guys got to do right now, it's actually super simple. Okay. All you got to do right now is type in !raffle. That's it to enter this raffle right here. It's not rigged. I mean, I don't choose it. Nightbot chooses it for me, but all you got to do is type in !raffle right now. There's a lot of different prizes that we have over here. Let me go over some of them actually. We have a VIP badge. We have a scuff drawing, so you can request a drawing out of me. You can get timed out on Twitch, which is my personal favorite. You can get some Bootcamp resources. These are $30 in value Bootcamp resources. Basically over 140 sheets and cheat sheets that I've made all of last year. So basically all of my hard work from last year is available to grab. There's also one-on-one mentorship, which I think is probably the most valuable one on there. And then also we have here a few other ones as well too. All right. So guys, everyone, you guys can join in, but all you have to do is make sure you're following, because if you're not following right now, and if you are, if you're trying to enter, you're not gonna see it. All right. So make sure you follow there. Okay. You guys all in? There's about 70 of you guys in here in the raffle right now. Let's see what you guys are playing for today. Oh, thank you so much for the hype train there. Okay, let's see what you guys are spinning for today. Okay, let's see. What is it? What is it? What are you guys spinning for today? Yeah, everybody just type !raffle. There's about 75 of you guys right now. Oh. Oh. Oh baby. Oh. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh man, this is gonna be fun. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one out here. Alrighty. Well, guys, type !raffle. It's not too late. If anyone here wants to get timed out real bad, this is the time to do it. Everybody type !raffle. If you've already typed it, unfortunately, it's too late for you. Okay. Unfortunately, you lost your chance. So let's go ahead and do this one. I love when this one gets hit, man. This is my favorite. Okay. You guys ready? Let's go ahead and see who the winner is today. There's about 80 of you guys who are in here. I can't believe we hit this one again. And the odds are not even that high, man. It's a pretty low odds. I'm not going to lie. It's like a 1 in 16 chance, or 1 in 8 chance. That's actually pretty high. Okay, here we go. 3. Hold on. Let's put it this way. 3, 2, 1. Bonako. Damn. Banako. Where's my Nightbot? Banako. Are you here, Banako? Oof, everybody put a everybody just type F in the chat for a fallen soldier today. Oof. I'm sorry, man. We got to do this. Purge, delete. Banako. We got a purge. Time 10 minutes. Timeout, dude. Is there anything shorter than 10 minutes? I can't believe this. Okay, I'm gonna try to click this and hopefully it's a little bit less. Timed out for 10 minutes. Damn, Banako, not like this. I would. I can't believe this. We got a fallen soldier in the chat. We can't let this slide, right? Mods, what do you think? Mods, should we bring back Banako? Look at him. Said bye. Damn. That's an insta. That's just wiped out of the stream. Somebody save him from the shadow realm. Mods, you can do it. I'll let you do it, mods. Bring him back. Bring back Banako. They didn't deserve this. What'd you miss? Someone just got timed out. Raffle timed out. Let them enjoy their prize. Yeah, let them savor. All right, it looks like La Massaverse brought back Banako. All right, you're back from the shadow realm. Tell us how it was. How was that experience? Not my proudest W. Hey, some wins are now wins, right? That's a life lesson right there today. Damn. Dance party. Okay, we'll do the dance party break during the ad break, okay? So that way people don't miss out on stuff. So I just have to remember. Just make sure I remember. Otherwise I will genuinely forget. Okay, but let's go back here. And thank you again, everybody, for helping me hit my goals and stuff. I just reset it. Okay. Thank you for the gifted sub to Banako. Hey, some wins are wins. See? There you go. Damn. Congratulations, Banako. You came out of the shadow realm. You came out better for it. You guys are so funny. Oh man. Thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub, Destiny. And thank you for the follow, Spangle. Okay, so going back here, this is gonna be that occipital bone, or is it the occipital bone? It should be. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Occipital bone. Okay. But some other things I wanted to go over here, we'll go over it in yellow, is when it comes to drawing the head, something that I want you guys to pay attention to is really there's a big taper. All right, there's a tapering here that goes on in the head, so definitely don't neglect that. It's a understatement at this point. He grabbed the W from the shadow realm. I know you made it out alive, and you were rewarded for it. Man, that was funny. What's my dog doing? What a stream. What a stream. I swear, the raffle is always... I love the raffle. I think raffle is one of the funniest things that I added on my stream, and I'm very glad that I added it because it just brings me so much joy. Okay. But there you go. That's going to be the head diagram there that we have. We need more raffles. I know. I love the raffles. They're hilarious. So I think this is going to be basically that general structure there. And again, you can really utilize this. I'll show you why this thing right here is important. Okay. I know this is a lot of diagram stuff. Again, we're going to go over all the heavy material stuff first. And then from there, we'll move on to, we'll do some more kind of like fun portrait stuff. Okay. So I just wanted to knock out all the educational content first, and then, yeah. And then we'll continue back here, but I'll show you guys again. I'll take this head that we have. Is it this one? This one right here? Okay. I'm gonna take this head here. What the heck? Did I merge all the layers? Okay. So I'm going to take this head and I'll show you guys why this is so important. All right. Okay, here we go. Thanks for the follows. Yim Weiwei and Motley Closet. Starting a petition to make the chances of getting timed out 50-50. You guys are savage. That, I don't know. That seems too spicy. At that point, it just makes it sound like I want to time out people. Like I just want to have an excuse to time people out, which is not true. Okay, I want you guys to know I don't fully enjoy timing people out. I only enjoy it about like 90%. Okay, there's like a 10% feeling of remorse. Here's my dog. Here's my dog. There you go. Puppy power. I know everyone's like, Kaycem's capping. Kaycem's a liar. We all know the truth. We all know I enjoy timing people out. It's a sense of power. There you go. That's my dog. Let me distract you all from this conversation with a video of my dog. Classic PR marketing right there. Okay, so as you guys can see here, I'm just laying out the grid here that we have, but you can kind of take a look because see these points right here, this point right here, and these points right here, these are basically going to be the farthest and the highest and the widest points in the head, and this is very important and valuable because this basically helps you establish perspective on the head. So if you guys are ever wondering like, what the heck, Kaycem, how do I establish perspective and stuff? Basically these points right here, this top of the head right here and this right here are actually relatively flat, and so you can actually use these as good landmarks for establishing perspective on your characters. Okay, let me go like this a little bit more. But there you go. That's kind of what we have there. Just wanted to give you guys that quick little breakdown of the head here to kind of see that. All right, but okay, I think that's a good amount of tutorial stuff for today. We covered a lot already. What do you guys think? I think that's good for today. So let's go into drawing stuff now. Let's go and just draw, have fun, and relax a little bit. Okay, do we know anything about Skillshare? Do we know anything about Skillshare? What do you mean, do we know anything about Skillshare? What do we know about Skillshare? Have I ever owned a cat? I watched a cat for 2 weeks, and all it did was ever claw my they just clawed my sheets every time it just kept clawing my bed sheets, and I just cried. And I was like, this is why I get dogs, because this cat is evil. This cat is just pure evil. Let's see here. I think you need to add some videos about Arrow to your YouTube channel, the real star of this stream. You think that'll help me get some more viewers on YouTube? Which, by the way, guys, if you are new here, I do have a YouTube channel. So if you guys enjoy all this live stream tutorial stuff, I'll be actually uploading all of these things over to my YouTube channel. So that way you guys can not only watch them at your own pace, but you guys can also leave comments and ask questions and stuff over there. So I would greatly appreciate it. My last video has been doing really well, thanks to you guys, and it means a lot to me that we're getting some interest there over on YouTube. But okay, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Okay, I want you guys to choose for me, because I honestly could do either or. Okay, so you got 2 options today. All right, I'll give you your 2 options in a poll. Let's pull up the chat real quick. So your 2 options, either what you want, question mark. Okay, so option 1 is one, let's see, draw female character. All right, easy peasy. Or two, we draw Denji from Chainsaw Man, but like in my style, and either one I think is fine. So we can do, I'm happy to do either or with you guys. Okay, let's go vote. You guys can choose what y'all want. I think if we do the girl, we'll talk a little bit more about the general forms and structure and stuff, and how to kind of work out the details. And then this one for Denji would be more about a conversation about how to take all the realistic stuff and proportions that we have there, and kind of how do you build that structure for drawing a character like, let's say, Denji and stuff from Chainsaw Man. A lot of good tutorial stuff for sure today. You see no poll? There should be a poll. If not, I'm sorry. If not, I feel your pain. Democracy at its finest, guys. You can't vote if you don't even have the option to. I want what you want to draw. I'll draw anything with you guys today. I'm chilling today. Today's a good day, you know? We covered so much already. Like, I think I'm getting good at just going over these technical topics with you guys, because we power through these like so fast. It's not bad. I think there's a clear vote here. There's a very surprising number of you guys who just really want me to draw Denji today. All right. You got to practice more women, Kay. Guys are your comfort zone. We just talked about this. Surprisingly, I actually draw a lot of female characters for work. So drawing male characters on my personal time now is like my guilty pleasure. I draw so many female characters for work. It's like, let me draw some men one time. Husbando's on the side. Yeah. Okay. It looks like Denji's the winner today. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll talk a little bit about drawing. And this will be a fun one, because this is actually the first time I'm doing this with you guys, like drawing kind of like a anime character in my style kind of thing. Not the first time we've done this, but first time this year that I think we've done this. So let me move some things up, or actually I'll move some things down, because I think I want to have it on top. So let me go ahead and take a few of these little notes and stuff that we had today, which we had a lot of. We did a lot of good notes today. And then we'll move on here. Okay. I will keep this one. I actually like this notes, but I'll just shrink it a little bit more. I just want to have space. Honestly, drawing middle-aged dudes is ridiculously fun. You know, it's fun because I think personally it's actually a lot easier to draw. There's a lot more features to work with, and so you can really, get some good details in and some stuff. TY for teaching. That's good to hear. Yeah. Let me know, guys, if you enjoyed this, these little demos that we just did here, just now. I know that this is kind of more heavy and very kind of like informational and stuff. So I always try to balance it out with like, I don't want to give you guys too much heavy stuff and you guys are like, yo, my head hurts, Kaycem, what the heck? So let me know if this was helpful to you. But I'm going to move Denji up here, so that way I can work on it up top. All right, so funny enough, I actually already did a rough sketch for Denji here. But before we even start on this rough sketch that I have here, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the things that I think are interesting about, let's say, the anime style, and we'll use Chainsaw Man as an example. I missed the Skull Bootcamp. Is it going to be on YouTube soon? Yeah, so today's stream will be on YouTube, and also yesterday's stream will be on YouTube. So day 1 and day 2 are they're all going to be on YouTube. But this one probably they won't come out for like maybe a week or so, because I have my editors working on them. So I do have editors and stuff, and so they need a little bit of time to just kind of clean up the video a little bit. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah. But okay, let's talk a little bit first about Denji and kind of what I think is interesting about the anime style overall. So one of the things that I think is interesting is I get this question all the time where people come in and they say, Kaycem, like, hey, I know we're covering all this like technical proportions and realistic anatomy and stuff, but how does that actually work with the anime style? I like to draw anime. That's my thing. You know, does it still apply? And the interesting thing about anime and style in general is that really, regardless of the style, the form and having good form and having good consistency is always going to be the most important thing, right? So whether or not you draw your characters in an anime style, a realistic style, or a Western style, or whatever have you, having good form and good structure is always going to be consistent throughout all of these things. Even if you're trying to do a simplified style, like let's say The Simpsons, or even something like SpongeBob, you will actually learn that a lot of that stuff still follows a structure, still follows a form. So I'll show you guys really quick some of the general structures that I'm seeing for Denji. Again, these are just rough generalizations, so I'm not trying to I'm not saying that this is what they're doing, but this is kind of like what I'm seeing kind of thing. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of that and kind of warp it out a little bit. And we're going to utilize some of the techniques that we talked about earlier, right? So we talked about how one, the head is going to be tilting from the top of the head going down. We're also going to be seeing some of the volume here. So the wrapping here of the brow. So you can kind of see that there, right? Then here, let's also bring that back of the skull back too. And thank you for the subs, Dine Bang. Hopefully you're doing well. How have you been and how are your streams? And also 101 Christian. Thank you for the 9 months too. Damn, both of you guys, 9 months. What's going on? Is there like what happened 9 months ago? What's 9 months from February that brought you guys in here? I'm very curious now. 9 months. Thank you so much. Either way, appreciate that. And by the way, guys, I do run ads on my stream every hour. One's going to be running in about a minute or so. So if you do get an ad, thank you again for sticking around. The ads do help keep my streams monetarily viable. They allow me to do what I'm doing out here on Twitch. And so if you do get an ad, really appreciate it. And if you don't want to see any ads, do consider subscribing or using a Prime sub. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy the stream, and I hope to see you after the ad break. Oh, it was May? Oh, okay, that was when I was on the front page. That was a wild month last year. Damn, I was on the front page for the whole month of May last year, representing the Filipino community out here on Twitch for Asian Pacific Islander month, and that was super hype. So shout out to my fellow Filipinos, shout out to my fellow Asians in the chat, my Pacific Islanders in the chat. We're out here repping. Out here. Let's see. How's it going, LV? Party break. Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you for the reminder, rabbits. Thank you. I genuinely forgot. Like, damn. This is why chat is so helpful. I legit forgot that we were gonna do a dance party break. Good stuff. Whoa. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Shadow Wolf. Also, aloha, Alpha Lola. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs to Nayla, Vandalier, Flyin, Blue TARDIS, Selena Pacheco, Going Toastal. Thank you so much, guys. Can we get some claps in the chat? CLAP real quick. CLAP real quick for Shadow Wolf. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Insane. Am I using the sketch brush? I'm using a 2023 version of the sketch brush, which I don't think I've released yet. This is called the line art brush. I'll be releasing the 2023 brushes soon. I know, guys, I've been super busy. I'm sorry. I'll be releasing them soon. I promise. Yeah, thank you so much. Sheesh. And don't worry, for those of you who are who are stuck in the ad and stuff, you're not gonna miss anything. All right. Well, you'll miss a dance party break, but I mean, it's not that big. Thank you for the Prime sub, Minded Sky. Sheesh. What the heck? What's going on today? Insanity. Okay. Well, we've got here a little anime head for Denji, as you guys can see. But before we continue here, let's go do a quick dance party break. I finally fixed it, so yay! Finally, we can redeem it. If it's your first time here, guys, all you got to do is spam emotes. We do this thing where you guys can redeem a dance party break. It's pretty self-explanatory. We do a little dance break here. Spam some emotes in the chat. Let's get this one going. And here we go. All right. Emote spams. There you go. Get all the emotes in. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Is it too loud? Hopefully it's not too loud. Give me those emotes real quick. Oh, wait. We haven't done this in so long. Hey. Shout out to Wano, baby. One Piece. One Piece. The One Piece is real. Oh, shoot. The filter's done. Okay. There you go. That's our little dance party break there. The One Piece. The One Piece is real. Yo. We haven't done that in so long. I just legit don't clip it. Hey, don't do it. No. Don't clip me dancing without the filter. I'm gonna look so dumb. I mean, someone's gonna do it. I already know. It's over. This is the internet. What do you expect? No filter God mode. That's the true mode right there. What is going on today? Clip for the memories. Oh, it might be too late for the memory clip. I should have done it. Thank you so much for the five gifted. Dine Bang. Thank you. And congratulations to One Tiny B, Pacino, Alpha Lola, Alvia Nawar, and Glamourez. Thank you so much. Insane today, guys. Insane. The support today is incredible. Guys, we did have our sub goal hit again. And so if you guys didn't know, every time you guys gift sub or subscribe to my stream, not only does it greatly benefit me, but it also benefits everybody here who's watching live, because you guys actually get another cheat sheet that you guys can go ahead and download. So no, the stream is not ending. The stream is not ending. I'm just giving you guys another sheet here because you guys have been crazy with supporting my stream today. So guys, if you haven't grabbed these sheets yet, man, these are free to grab. Okay, free to grab while I'm live. Here's another sheet for you guys. It's the anatomy sheet for the torso. So we'll be talking about the torso probably in 2 weeks. We'll be staying in the head for about this week and next week, okay? But I want you guys to get a head start. Grab this sheet. Grab the head sheet right here. Grab these 2 fundamentals of form sheet as well. And also grab today's worksheet if you want to grab it. But again, these are full sheets that I've made and compiled. So covering everything from skeletal anatomy to the muscular forms and all of that stuff and basic structures, okay? So these are ones that you guys can go ahead and grab out here on my streams. But thank you so much for all the subs today, all the support today. It does help me out a lot, especially since this is what I do for a living part-time when I'm not doing studio work, which actually I realize I haven't given an intro for myself in a bit of time. I think so. I think it's been over an hour since I've given an intro. I think it might be time. For those of you who don't know who I am, allow me to reintroduce myself, okay? But first, before then, let me just lay out the mouth here. Okay, so really quick, again, even when you're doing the anime style, right? Even when you're doing the anime style, look at how the proportions and all that stuff still apply, right? This is kind of what I wanted to show you guys, is even when you're doing something like this where it's anime and you're seeing a lot less lines and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. The proportions, there's always some rule in proportions that apply for these things. And so here is the quote unquote anime proportions, right? Anime proportions. But notice how they still follow the rules. So even if you're doing the style that's going to be different, the structure is still the same. Notice here how the hairline, the brows, the nose, and the chin, they're all going to be the same equidistant, right? Space here. The chin's going to be a little bit longer because he's tilting his head up, but it's all 1/3. Let me write it down like this, 1/3. Right, 1/3 like that. Right, you're still going to have the tapering of the head that we talked about. Right, the head still tapers from the top of the base there. So you can see here that yeah, exactly, like, you know the rules to break it later. But also, even though like the style here, what changes is not necessarily the form and the structure. What changes from an anime style to a realistic style is going to be the facial features, right? So maybe the eyes are going to be a little bit more stylized. Maybe they're going to be a bit of a rounder shape. Maybe the mouth is going to be more jagged because he has that style of shark-like mouth. Or maybe the nose will be simplified. But the placement of things, the proportions of things are going to be pretty consistent. And so learning that will actually benefit you regardless of whatever style you're going for. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if that makes any sense, because I get this question so many times on my stream where people come in and they say, hey, you know, I'm curious, like I do more of an anime style. Does learning the anatomy actually help me? Right? But the reality is, in animation, all of these artists, all the animators who make these anime, they study the animation, they study the human body, the anatomy really well to be able to make them do what they do in the shows and stylize them in the ways that they want to. Which actually brings me to my intro. So let me do a quick intro of myself for those of you guys who are here for the first time. We've been getting a lot of follows, so I think it's a good time to do the intro. All right, here we go. Welcome in, guys. My name is Kaycem. I'm a Filipino art streamer here on Twitch, and I teach everything from anatomy, gesture, perspective, and all things related to character design. I also work full-time in the animation industry for the studio that made Castlevania. Currently, right now, prepping to work as a character designer for shows like Castlevania, Legend of Korra, and Invincible. So if you guys are interested in some free art education, you like my dog who sleeps all day, or you just want to find a cool stream to watch on a weekday, make sure you follow. If you're watching from YouTube, subscribe and all that stuff. But I hope you guys enjoy today's stream. All right, there you go. That was my quick intro. Shush, gotta breathe. I didn't even breathe when I said all that stuff. But thank you for all the follows today. But anyways, the anime proportions, we talked about that. Let's go ahead now and let's try to draw Denji kind of more in my style. I would say I draw in a more kind of a semi-realistic style. So we'll try to include some of those features and stuff. But here's my rough sketch of Denji. We're going to kind of work in and clean it all up. Professional streamer, is that me? I try to be a professional streamer. I would like to think that after streaming for 3 years, that I could call myself somewhat professional. I think it's crazy that we've already hit 3 years next month. Next month will be my 3 years on Twitch. Crazy. And thank you for all the follows, guys. I hope you all are hope you guys are not bots. We got like so many follows today. It's insane. It's actually nuts. Subathon for 3 years. You know, I was gonna make it a surprise announcement. Oh, hey, that's a great question here. Let me reread the question. Also, thank you for the 100 bits. So the question, guys, was how did you go from software engineering to character design from a studio? For a studio, did you minor in art? Yeah, I think it's actually a great time to talk about it because I'll be just drawing Denji here. So there's not much I'm gonna be like you know, talking about tutorial wise. So while I'm doing this kind of rough line art or cleaning up the line art here, I can talk to you guys a little bit about that if you guys are interested. I know a lot of you guys know the story, but also a lot of you guys don't know the story. So I'm more than happy to talk a little bit about that while I'm doing some line art. Was it nerve-wracking when you first started streaming? Yeah, but also not too bad, because my first true experience of streaming was actually I streamed a game for like 2 weeks, and it was this mobile game called Brawl Stars, and I think my audience at the time were just a bunch of like 12-year-old middle school guys, or not even guys, middle school boys. And at the time I didn't show my face. But when I decided to finally show my face at the end of the 2 weeks, they all basically roasted me. And I was like, damn, I hate streaming. Never again will I stream. And then 3 months later, I decided to try streaming again, but this time for art. And I realized that the problem was just the community, and that those middle school boys were just toxic. Yeah, dude, it was messed up. It scarred me for a bit. I was like, dude, I hate streaming. I can never be a streamer. And then when I tried doing art, I was like, you know what? This is actually much nicer. The art community is surprisingly much better and much more tame than the gaming community. Currently a software engineer and not feeling it. Would love to hear the story. Yeah, I'll definitely get to the story. I'm sorry that I haven't we'll talk about it, don't worry. What's my GMT? I am at PST right now, so it is 9:43 a.m. in the morning. I'm a morning person. My streams always start at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. PST. It's been that way since my first early days of streaming. Yeah, I'll talk about the story. Oh, we got a Kaycem redemption. All right, let's do it real quick. Okay, this one is for Destiny. Kaycem redemption. Here we go in 3,
2, 1. Hey guys, it's me, Kaycem. We got a redemption here from Destiny. Really wanted me to say a whole lot today, but we'll do it real quick. This one's for you, Destiny. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground, was where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and shooting on b-ball outside the school when a couple of guys were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." Shoo! There you go, Destiny. That one's for you.
Damn, that's a long one. That's a long redemption. How could you do that to me? You gave me such a long redemption. Yeah, bullied by 12-year-olds. I know. That's rough. Okay. Here we go. Let's talk a little bit, I guess, about let's talk a little bit about the story about how I pivoted and stuff. So the first question earlier was, did I minor in art? Of which the answer there is no, I did not minor in art. But I'll explain a little bit about all that stuff. And thank you for the raid, by the way. Illustrations, appreciate that. I hope you've been enjoying your stream so far, and I'm glad that you brought some people here. Yeah, let me give you a shout out. Let me leave you a follow as well. I always try to follow fellow streamers out here, no matter the size. If you come out here and support my streams, I'll always try to help you guys out as well. But let me give you a quick little shout out here, and I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy the stream and stuff. I'd love to know about your stream too. What were you up to? But yeah, for those of you who are coming in here today, I am an educational art streamer. We cover a lot of topics here from anatomy, gesture, perspective, all of that. And right now, I'm showing you guys how we take all the things we talked about just now, and how do we apply that to actually drawing, right? So drawing a character. And so here's a drawing of Denji. I'll be doing him in my style today, as we also talk about my journey into being an artist. And some of you guys were interested in about how I transitioned from software engineering to working full-time in the animation industry. Also, hey, Silvo Kami, welcome back in. You came in from the raid. No, it's your first time here. Welcome in. Glad to have you on here. So the question again was, how did I kind of pivot and stuff? And so I think to kind of preface here, I think it's important for me to say that yes, even though I've only been drawing seriously for about two years now, I guess 3 years now, I've technically been drawing since I was a kid, right? So when I was younger, I used to do the thing where I would, wake up early for Saturday morning cartoons. I would watch my Yu-Gi-Oh, my Pokemon. I'm sure you guys remember Saturday morning cartoons. Guys, put an F in the chat, man. Pay respect for Saturday morning cartoons. Nowadays, kids just have Netflix. They don't understand, man. My nephew doesn't understand how magical Saturday morning cartoons was. He was like, I don't get it. Why don't you just pull up Netflix and watch whatever you want? And I was like, what? I'm like, what? What do you mean? He's like, you can't. There's something special about it. Some kids just don't know, man. I've been following for quite a while. I've often seen the titles of being something like Design Bootcamp Day, blah, blah, blah. What is a Design Bootcamp? Yeah, so that is, there you go. There's a command for it. Perfect. The dumb stuff, you can check out the command there, but basically the TLDR is I teach out here on Twitch and I run a 30-day boot camp that you guys can all join for free. It's a boot camp focused on character design and just a way for you guys to maybe push your art skills to that next level if that's something you're looking for. And also just a way for me to also make sure I'm practicing my own fundamentals too, because, there's no such thing as being completely done with learning when it comes to art. I think art is always a long process, and so always good to practice it. But anyways, as I was saying, so yeah, I used to grow up, watching Saturday morning cartoons and all that stuff, and that was a big part of my childhood. And I think at the time, my parents were super supportive of it. Like most parents are. They're like, wow, this is so cool. You're drawing, this is so cute. And then when you get a little bit older and they're like, huh, wait a minute, why are you still drawing? I thought that was supposed to be something that you just do as a kid. You know what I'm talking about? They're like, wait a minute, is this going to interfere with our Asian son's goals of being a doctor, engineer, or lawyer? Because that's what he should be focusing on. And so, my parents, they were kind of like, okay, they were like, all right, you can keep doing your drawing as long as you're also keeping up with your studies. And so as I, got older and stuff, I would still draw here and there, but I was always, trying to be as studious as an Asian boy could be. And then by the time I got into high school, I was basically really interested in doing art as a career. But back then, it was really hard to even know what a career in the arts was, right? It's not like nowadays on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, where everybody's sharing like, hey, I'm a storyboard artist for so-and-so, or I work at Riot Games, right? Like back then, you didn't really know who was working on what or what jobs even existed. Like the internet was still pretty, I would say, primitive in terms of compared to where it is now. And so I had a conversation one day with my dad. It was senior year of high school. I was driving with him. It was like a weekend or something. And I just told him, I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing art. I want to be an artist. And he asked me, he just said, how are you going to make money? Which I think is a fair question to ask because, I think parents in general maybe don't know a lot about the job industry, and I didn't even know much about the job industry. And so he just asked me, how am I going to make money? Which is a good question because let's be real, there's definitely a stereotype about the starving artist and stuff. And I didn't know. I didn't know how to answer that question. But I think at the same time, I think he was willing to support me. And I think he just wanted me to think about that. Like, okay, you want to pursue art, make sure you think about what that actually means to you. And so fast forward, I had another experience where I chatted with a college counselor in my high school, and I told her, I said, hey, I want to pursue art, right? She looks at me and she looks at my GPA, which was a pretty good GPA. I had a good grades and stuff. And she basically said, if you go to art school, you're going to be wasting your intellect. That's like what she told me. And I was like, okay. Like I was like, this is like rubbing me the wrong way for sure. And I was like, damn, and it made me realize like this is how society views artists, right? And sometimes this is how artists view artists, right? And people wonder why artists are so frustrated and stuff because damn, dude, society is out against us. And so despite all of these things, I still told myself, well, you know what? I want to still pursue art. And so I went and decided to go to a school here in California called Art Center. The name itself is irrelevant. It's okay if you know it or don't know it, but I went to an art school for about a semester. I had saved up money prior from doing a bunch of small jobs and tutoring and stuff, because I used to tutor math and stuff when I was in high school, tutor my friends or whatever. And I saved up all this money just so I could take a semester in this art school. And I realized after that semester, one, how expensive art school was. It was like $40,000. But two, it also made me realize a lot about my own insecurities with my art. I felt like I had a lot of imposter syndrome, like I didn't belong there. Everybody was so much better than me, this and that. And so because I knew that I couldn't pay for it anymore, my parents couldn't really pay for it, I decided to quit. I dropped out of art school, decided that art wasn't going to be for me, because if I can't even pay for my own art education and pay to get better, what's the point, right? And obviously the mentality now is different, right? Because back then there wasn't really a YouTube videos, and if there weren't a lot of YouTube videos. But back then the mentality was still, if you wanted to go to art school, or if you wanted to get a job as an artist, you had to go to art school, right? That was like the mentality back then. And so in my mind, I figured if I couldn't even pay for it, there's no hope for me to be an artist. And so I dropped out, somehow managed to get into university, and instead started studying computer science, because that was what my parents wanted. That's what society valued. And so I started studying computer science, didn't do any more art for that time frame, basically when I was in college, when I did all that. And then I also worked as a software engineer for 5 years. So for context, for those of you who are coming in just now, I used to be a software engineer, and I worked there for 5 years, and 5 years is a long time if you think about it. Doing engineering work for 5 years is a hefty amount of time. But I did all that, and in that time frame, basically for like 6 years, there was a good period there where 6 years I didn't do any drawing, like just no drawing at all. I started kind of questioning after this time frame. I started asking myself, like, man, am I really happy in life? I'm really out here. I'm spending so much time doing engineering work, stuff that I'm not even really passionate about. But am I really happy with what I'm doing, right? And at first I was like, okay, maybe I just need to socialize more. I just need to do some go hang out or play more video games, because I thought that's what the solution was. I didn't think it was art, because I had already given up art at that point. But I realized after some time, I was like, you know what? What I actually really enjoyed doing when I was younger was doing art. And I think what made art not as fun for me was the aspect of money, the aspect of feeling like I had to make money and get a job and all of that stuff. And I think when I started thinking about all of that, I started forgetting about why I even did art in the first place. And so one of my goals in 2020, which happened to also just be the pandemic just happened to happen. Even this happened. I had made this goal to get back into drawing in 2020, and then the pandemic happened. But I decided I wanted to draw again, just for myself, just for fun, and to try to kind of re-experience what I felt when I was younger, back when I used to watch those Saturday morning cartoons. I wanted to feel like, man, those were some good, those are the good days. How can I get that back and really get back into that habit and that routine? And so going into 2020, I decided, okay, I want to draw some more. And then I decided I wanted to stream on Twitch as well. And the big reason why I wanted to do that was because I realized I had no more art friends. All of my art friends that I had made back in the days are already working in the industry. All the people who I met at art school and stuff, they're already professional artists doing this and that. And I'm not going to lie, all right? I had a little bit of resentment. I was jealous because I felt like, man, if only I had drawn more, I would probably be where they are, or I'd be a better artist like they are. Put an F in the chat if you've ever told yourself that. You look at yourself and you said, man, if only I had spent more time drawing, I'd be so much better. And also, part of me was feeling frustrated too, because I kept looking on Instagram. I would see all these really cool artists and they're like, damn, I'm like, this is insane. This art is incredible. You click on their account and their bio says something along the lines of 14-year-old artist, just got into high school. And you're scratching your head wondering, wait a minute. First of all, I was never this good in high school. But second of all, what's the point of me even trying to do art when there's kids like this who are killing it out here, right? And so I decided, you know what I need to do? I need to make some new friends. I need to find a community of other artists who are also trying to get back into art. And I just want to have like a healthy, normal relationship with art again, right? And that is kind of why I started streaming on Twitch. And so that was my process. That was my journey. I started streaming on Twitch. I would go live. My drawings were not super good or anything like that. I was honestly, my drawings, I would say, were pretty mediocre. But I was just trying to draw for fun. I was still working as a software engineer, and so I was doing all that. And eventually, I realized as I did it for a whole year that I actually really enjoyed drawing, to the point where I was enjoying it way more than anything else I was doing. And because of my community that I built on Twitch and stuff, a lot of you guys, my early viewers, shout out to my 2020 and 2021 viewers. You guys actually really supported me a lot, mostly psychologically, just giving me confidence in myself that I don't think I had anymore. You know, giving myself that motivation to push through and really try to actually take that leap of faith and pursue art more full time. And so in 2021, I decided to quit my job. I quit my software engineering job, and I decided to become a full-time artist. Just try to study as much as I could, take freelance jobs whenever I could, do commission work whenever it came up. And that was my process. That was just legit my process for what I did for a whole year. And I'm not going to lie, guys, it was rough. Okay. I don't know how many of you guys were here from 2021 or remember back when I was streaming in 2021, but I would say that was probably one of my lower points in streaming. I didn't know what I was doing with my art. I was getting stressed about money again, like how I was in high school. I felt like I wasn't growing, and I felt like I was having regrets about, like, I was like, man, I quit my job. What am I doing? You know, I was like, dude, this is insane. Like, what's going to happen if I can't make this a reality? And so I was super stressed about all those things for all the wrong reasons. And then I don't know exactly what happened in 2022, but I think I made a realization about what I wanted to do. I sat down with myself and I just doubled down. I doubled down on the things I needed to learn. I relearned all my fundamentals. I practiced as much as I could. I kept streaming on Twitch. And eventually that for me was a big pivotal point, because it made me realize, and it's probably, it's the catalyst for the title of my stream, which is how to level up quickly or how to improve your skills quickly. I realized a lot of it came down to, one, changing your frame of mind, changing my mentality about how I viewed art and how I viewed my progress. Two, it also came down to discipline and really sitting down with myself and saying, hey, if I really want to improve and grow, these are the things I need to do. I need to draw every day. I need to study the fundamentals. I need to be creative enough to explore and try different things, you know? And I sat down, I said, these are things I have to do. Let's make it happen. And basically, fast forward, 2022 was a great year. I learned a lot. I picked up a lot of jobs, did a lot of freelance work, and now I work full time in the animation industry for the studio that made Castlevania. So it was a slow pivot. I want to be honest with you guys. It wasn't like an easy transition from software engineering to art. I had my highs, I had my lows. But if there's one thing I want to tell you guys is I don't regret it. I've probably been the happiest I've ever been in a very, very long time. And I think a big part of that is just that I get to do what I like to do on a regular basis. And so I don't regret all the trials and tribulations that I went through. And another thing too that I want to tell you guys, which maybe some of you guys might be in this situation right now, is if you've ever had any regrets about maybe you felt like you chose the wrong path in life, like put an F in the chat, guys, if you wanted to do art, but you're maybe studying something else in school, or you're working on something else. Maybe you're not working the job that is not art related, but you wanted to do art at some point, right? Put an F in the chat if you've ever been that way. And maybe you felt like in that moment, you're kind of like, man, I regret. I feel like I'm not doing the thing I'm supposed to do. I'm like wasting my time here. I used to feel that way all the time. I used to feel this way all the time about my art. I used to think, man, if only I could go back and stay in art school, if only I could do this and that, I would be such a way better artist now. And like, I spent so much time on computer science, I don't even use it. What's the point of getting this degree when I don't use it? But I realized something. This is something I realized last year that I think might be helpful to you guys, that I want you guys to know. I'll pause the music for this because I think this is, if there's anything here I want you guys to remember, for those of you who felt like your time was wasted, the thing I want you to know is that, first of all, your time hasn't been wasted. If anything, that time has actually been incredibly valuable. And I know this sounds kind of crazy. You're kind of like, Kaycem, what do you mean, man? This is not how I feel. So here's what I want to say, okay? In those 6 years that I wasn't doing art and I was doing computer science and stuff, what I realized that even though the algorithms and programs and coding languages I was using, those things are not directly translatable to art. But what I did realize was what I was doing in those moments was I was building discipline. I was doing work that I needed to do without having to feel motivated about it, without having to feel passionate about it. But I did the work. I took the classes I studied and all of that stuff, and I made it happen, right? And some of you guys might be in that situation right now. You realize, hey, you know what? I'm actually doing stuff that I'm not super excited about, but I'm doing it. I'm in the classes, I'm taking the courses, I'm doing the work, right? And when you realize that, then you can look back at your art and you can say, you know, back in those days when I used to think that I can only draw when I was motivated, right? You know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, Kaycem, I want to draw, but I'm not really motivated today. I haven't been motivated recently. Look back and realize that you've actually been capable of doing stuff without any motivation or passion for a long time now. And that is a skill that is being developed to this day. All right. So I want you to know your time is now wasted. So for those of you who feel like, man, Kaycem, it's too late for me. I'm a little behind. There's already all these young artists out here. Okay. What you have that they don't have is the discipline of years of doing a practice that you weren't super passionate about. And that will actually help you out so much in your journey right now, because now you'll be able to realize, hey, you know what? I can do this thing. I can do the art that I want to do, and I'm in a better place for it. All right. So anyways, that is my little story. That's my answer to your question about how I pivoted from software engineering to art. Again, it wasn't a quick transition or anything like that. It was definitely a long process, but in that long process, I want to at least share with you guys the things that I learned along the way. So that way, maybe your process will be a little bit easier than mine, you know? But there you go. That is that is the answer to that question. If it's your first time here, by the way, welcome into the Kaycem crew. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. We did a lot of tutorial stuff earlier today. We talked about different structures and anatomy and form, and then now I'm drawing Denji in my style here. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Yeah, I know. People are like, wait a minute. I thought this was a art tutorial stream. This guy's talking about his life. Yeah, I know. It might be a little bit of a pivot, and you might be like, damn, what the heck? Thank you so much for the 6 months in advance, Carson. I hope you enjoy the 6 months of my streams. I will do my best to make it as good of content as possible. What made you choose to work in a studio instead of staying freelance? That's actually a really good question. And there was another question earlier too. Never really had discipline. I mostly coasted through my classes and courses. So the question is about like, how do you establish discipline, right? Because I think people have asked me too. People are like, wow, Kaycem, you were able to get an animation industry. You were able to get into the industry in 2 years. Like, that's pretty impressive. I've heard that all the time, and it made me wonder. I was like, yeah, like what did I do? What did I actually do that helped me make that happen? And I think a big part of it was just having that discipline for myself, and so I can kind of talk a little bit about that, about discipline. But let me answer the question really quick about why I chose to do studio work instead of staying freelance. I think for me, there was one moment in particular that I can remember, and that moment in particular was early last year. Avatar Studios, the studio that basically made Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, They made their own studio and they decided that they wanted to start hiring people. They wanted to start hiring some new character artists, animators, all of that stuff. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was like a big trending Instagram post where they were sharing that they were looking for jobs. And prior to this, I was actually pretty content with being a freelancer. I was like, you know what, freelance work is not bad. Maybe I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and I can live this life, right? But last year they made a post and they were saying, hey, we're looking to, do some more projects. We want to hire some people. And when I saw that post, there was something about it that made me say, you know what? I think it would be so cool if I could work on this project. And a big part of that is because I grew up on Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was one of my favorite shows. I think in more ways than one, it inspired me to continue drawing art and stuff. And it made me realize if I could go back, if I could contribute to a show or a production that I grew up with, that really inspired me, and if I could do that for the next generation, that would be so sick. That would be incredible. And I think it was because of that post that it actually made me start making stuff like the boot camps and stuff that you guys know that I do now, right? That was actually the reason why I made the boot camp, was because I said to myself, hey, you know what? I want to make a character design portfolio that I want to submit to Avatar Studios, and I want to see if I can get the job. Which, by the way, if you guys want to see my professional portfolio, here is a link to my portfolio. But what ended up happening, which was really funny, and I'll tell you guys this story, was I was working on this portfolio and stuff, and literally within 2 weeks of listing out this job, they had already found all the roles. They had filled out all the jobs already, which was insane. And I was like, damn, in 2 weeks. And so, unfortunately, I was a little too late, right? I had worked on the stuff and I was like, damn, this is too late. I missed my chance. But that didn't stop me, because it made me realize, you know what? Maybe this show, I missed a chance, but I want to be ready. I want to be prepared the next time an opportunity like this happens, because this is something I know I wanted to do at least once in my career, you know? If I go back to freelance work after, okay, sure, I'm happy with that. But if I could at least contribute to something once that I was very passionate about as a kid, I think that would be a huge life goal for me to hit. And so I spent a lot of last year basically doing that and just constantly prepping with that one goal in mind, that if an opportunity like Avatar: The Last Airbender came out again, that I would be ready for it. And I'll tell you guys a funny story here, because what ended up happening was last year in October, I went to a convention called Lightbox Expo. I don't know how many, do you guys know what Lightbox Expo is? It's okay if you don't. I'll explain anyways. But if you know what Lightbox Expo is, then great. Basically, Lightbox Expo is a convention. It's an art-focused convention where different studios come there, whether it's game studios, animation studios, feature film studios. A bunch of artists come there to do artist alleys. There's a bunch of talks and workshops, a bunch of just basically art-focused stuff there. And it's a great way for people to started by Bobby Chu. And it's a great way for artists to basically go in and, network with people, right? And so, funny enough, when I went there, I had went to the Nickelodeon booth. If you guys didn't know, Avatar: The Last Airbender was, made at Nickelodeon Studios and stuff. And I chatted with the recruiter. Who was there. And I just like, hey, can you, take a look at my portfolio and stuff? I want to see if there's any feedback you could give. And you guys would not believe what she said. She straight up asked me, the first thing she said was, hey, did you apply? Did you apply for the Avatar Studios job back in February? And I was like, no, I didn't apply. I missed it. I missed it by like a week. And you know what she said? She looked at me and she said, that's a shame. Because if you had submitted this portfolio back in February, I would have put you through for interviews. And I was like, yo, what the heck? My brain was like, which in all fairness was really funny, because it made me realize a couple of things. One, I knew that at that moment back then, I wasn't ready for it. The portfolio that I had back in February was nowhere what I had in November. But it also made me realize that the work that I was putting in, the practice that I had put in to level up my skills and get better, paid off. You know what I'm saying? It paid off, and I was like, okay, so yeah, I was a little like, I was kind of like, what's the word there? I was like, oh man, that sucks, you know? But then I realized, you know what? The work I did actually paid off, because here's the recruiter who actually handled the process for this, the role that I wanted. And they're telling me I would have gotten, I would have not gotten it, but you know, I would have been considered. And so that for me was a big, like mental motivator for sure. But yeah, that the TLDR there is that is why I wanted to do studio work. In the long run, honestly, I wouldn't mind doing freelance work. I enjoy having the flexibility of working on my own projects or working on projects for people at a limited time and then doing new things. But I also feel like one of the benefits of working at a studio is you get to be surrounded by a lot of really good artists, other professionals who, you know, have had different experiences, but we all kind of share things collectively. And so I think that's something that's very valuable. And I've learned so much already just from being, just from working at Powerhouse. Like my supervisors and stuff always, whenever they do draw overs of my work, it's like, damn, what the heck? Like I learn something new every time. And so I always thank them. I'm always like, thank you for drawing over my stuff, because it is these kind of things that I don't get when I'm working freelance as much, right? But yeah, long term, I might just do some freelance long term. I don't know yet. Near perfect example of missing 100% of the shots you don't take. Yeah, I know, but also it's like, you know, I also don't think I was ready. I think if I had made that shot in February, given the skill level I had in February, I would have missed it. I would have missed the shot for sure. But you never know too, right? I think to your point, like I think I always tell people, you know, always try to just apply for things if you guys are interested, and also just try. You never know. You never know what happens, right? Having mentors like that is valuable. Yeah, mentorship is also a big part of 2022 that I had, that I think really helped me progress as an artist. Okay, but let's go back into the drawing. As you guys can see, I've laid out most of the details for Denji here. And I'm just going to go in and start adding in more structure, adding in some of the hair now. And we'll talk a little bit about how I break down hair. You can kind of see I'm already doing it now, but whenever I draw hair, I'm always focusing on small, medium, large shapes first. So I already drew out the silhouette earlier when I sketched this one out, but now I'm going in here and applying small, medium, large shapes first, which we will then add more details to after. And so you can kind of see right here the small, medium, large shape of the sharp hair there, and then we're going to break that up, give it some more texture and more kind of more my style, right? So this is my style over here. In the company's lifetime. No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're always seeking people and stuff. So definitely, I've kept in touch with that recruiter. There's been a lot of recruiters and people who I've kept in touch with now, and so I'm very thankful for the opportunities I've gotten in the industry so far, and a lot of that really has just come down to hustling and networking, right? Thank you for the follows, guys. Rafosa, Angel or N2GL, Frank BCN, Sparkle Goats, Redfield 095, and everybody else who's here. Can we get power in your style next? You guys just want me to draw the whole cast. You guys want me to do a Denji character expression sheet like I did for Joel from The Last of Us? That could kind of be fun, actually, now that I think about it. Like Denji in my style, like realistic Denji. Okay. I'll think about it. No promises. I don't want you guys to be like, Kaycem, you promised. You said you'd give us Denji. I'm like, hey, look, I can do my best. That's all I can say. But let's kind of go in here. I'm going to break out, again, I'm breaking out the chunks of hair, right? So we're having small, medium, large shapes. And again, this is one of the ways that I try to make hair a little bit more simple and making it more understandable by doing components like this, where you can actually really get a feel for the structure and start building and working your way from the structure, right? Is your tablet flat on the desk? No. So it's not. It's actually angled. I'm using something called the Sketchboard Pro. It is a It's a drawing tablet that I highly recommend for anyone out here who uses the iPad. This is probably one of the best things I've bought. Next to the Apple Pencil. And this right here, like, I kid you not, it's so good that I have 2 of these because I have one for my work desk over there. But it's just so good in terms of allowing you to draw for long periods without having to hurt your neck, having to hurt your wrist. It also is, you can angle it at different ways as well. And you can like charge your iPad and all. It's just a great tool. So I highly recommend it to anybody out here who uses the iPad. And I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by them, so just, heads up. But yeah. And here, okay, so I've heard this before too. People say like, hey, I found some dupes because this one was too expensive. So here's why I would actually say this in the long term is actually better. And here's why. Okay, so what's really cool about the Sketchboard Pro is it's actually modular. So even if you upgrade your iPad or you change sizes and stuff, you can actually get an adapter. So this black thing right here, you can actually take off this black surrounding. And so the board itself is pretty consistent. You can just upgrade or change this middle portion right here, and that will always be much cheaper than buying the dupes, which will then, you'll have to buy a new one anyways. But also the quality is better. I've tried a few other ones, I'm not gonna lie, and I would say the quality of this one is still, I think, much better. I think the wood one is okay too, but I think these are good. And it's one of those things that I understand. Like if you're not too sure about it, it's unfortunate. It's hard to kind of demo it outside, but if you've ever demoed it, usually conventions will have this. It's pretty good. But again, each to their own, right? I think as long as you have anything that works for you that helps with your ergonomic setup, I think that's what's most important. So whether it's the Sketchboard Pro or other alternatives and stuff. What brushes can I use for beginner and digital art? iPad, I have Procreate installed. Check out my brushes. I have some free brushes there if you guys are looking for free stuff. And then there's also some paid brushes there too. Do you find time to work out? I find myself being a little gremlin hunched over my tablet a lot of the time. Kind of. I try to work out in the evenings, and then I also walk my dog a lot. I said the W-A-L-K word. I'm not supposed to say that. My dog starts. He's looking at me. He's looking at me right now. He knows I said the word. I W-A-L-K this guy over here pretty regularly every day. I looked at your Instagram and I didn't see a single self-portrait. I want to see how you would draw your hair. I have had a self-portrait, but it was back when I had long hair. I think if I wanted to do my hairstyle now, let me think, what texture would be the most accurate to this hairstyle now? I don't know. I'd have to find one, but yeah, it's the short hairstyle is pretty interesting. What's my dog doing? He's just laying down, sleeping, chilling. But yeah, so going back here for the hair, again, I'm just breaking up the forms, right? So I'm breaking up those chunks of hair there. Just again, easy peasy little structure, nothing too complicated, and I'm keeping it relatively simple. So we're gonna go in here like this, break that up. We're gonna go on this side like that, and we're gonna break that up as well, right? So again, whenever I'm doing these like hairstyles and stuff, I'm always trying to break up the chunks, because if you can find these volumes in the hair, you can then easily add all the texture and detail after, which is what we're going to do. But then it also helps with stuff like understanding how the shadows work, understanding how the lighting works, how to draw it from different angles, which I think will be helpful too. Yeah, thank you for hanging out here, Indigio. And thanks for the follows, guys. Creating Art, Vale Manga, and everyone else here. I have a question regarding your job. Do you have a flexible program or a strict 9 to 5? I think it's kind of in between. So I have to work about 8 hours every day. So I work from 11 a.m. to 7. So basically what I do literally is this. After my stream ends, I take like a 10-minute break and then I jump right to work. That's like that's my routine. Every day is I hop in at 11. I work from 11 to 7. And yeah, that's about it. Standard 9 to 5, just on a different time frame. Okay, I feel like I want to give him some more hair that swooshes this way. But yeah, so it's not nice. So the flexibility comes from me choosing when I start my day, but I do have to do my hours and stuff. Thank you for the follows, Salim and Relay Art. Is it a full-time remote? Yeah, so this one is full-time remote. But I'm sure that if they wanted me to move to Texas, I think they would be really happy about that. But I don't want to move to Texas. I like living in LA. Do you use streaming for warm-up for work? That's a good question. No, I use streaming because I enjoy it, and it just makes me, I don't know, it makes me feel good to start my day off with streaming with you guys and stuff. But I use streaming primarily also to practice things as well. So it's kind of like my time to do personal work or to practice. So all the stuff that we cover here that I teach you guys on my stream, it's also just good review for me. So all the stuff with the bootcamp and whatnot, it's just something that I like to do to make sure that I'm still up to date with my own fundamentals. So it's just like my time to practice. Personal drawing time kind of thing. Okay, so I think we've got here the rough hairstyle now, and then what I'll do is I'll go in and actually clean up some of the details. Okay, so I think this will give us some of the texture that we're going to be looking for Denji here, and then I think we'll be good. I'll clean it up a bit more, polish it. Yeah, I was gonna say the teeth is gonna be something I wanted to clean up, but we kind of just laid it out. So I might actually. I wonder if I should open his mouth a little bit more. Like, let's see if we can do. I kind of want to change it a little bit. So give me a second. Let's see what we can do here. This might be a tough one. Am I on a new layer? Oh, I'm not. Hold on. Wait. I want to do it on a new layer so we can change it a little bit. So this is going to get into like talking about expressions and stuff that we've done a few times on my stream. Like how do you kind of push expressions for things? So let's kind of lay this one out really quick. I'll do a new mouth here and we'll see how this new mouth might work. Hold on. How is Denji? I gotta look up a picture of Denji real quick. Yo, thank you for the sub. 9 months. Black Katana. Appreciate that. What happened? You're like the 4th person today who apparently has been subscribed to me for 9 months. Like, what happened 9 months ago? Was it really just because I was it the whole front page thing? I wonder if that was it. It's so wild. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Maybe, but real talks, it was the content. Thank you. I'm just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was just like, did I do something 9 months ago that like was really just popping off and people were like, yo, I'm here for it. Okay, so I'm trying to do an open mouth here. I want to see how it works first before I try to fix it up. Yeah, maybe something like this. And then if I tilt his nose a little bit, and if I rotate that mouth a little bit, like that, that could be kind of cool. And then maybe if I make his eyes look like he's looking down at us. Oh, thanks guys. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Also welcome in Opia. Thanks for the follow. Also Death Blush. Okay, I think this is okay. Again, this is like we're trying to figure it out as we do it, you know. You're kind of new to the digital art world. Hey, welcome in. It's not scary, I hope. Guys, what do you think? Digital art, scary or not scary? I think digital art is great, honestly. I think I personally think digital art is so much cleaner, a lot less mess than traditional art. Though I'm not going to say that I think digital or traditional art is worse or anything like that. I think it depends on the person. But personally, I enjoy digital art more. And I think a lot of it is just because I don't like cleaning. I'm not a fan of cleaning things, and so yeah. Whatever to digital art. Oh yeah. I would say the big thing about all that, about layers and stuff, especially when you're first starting out, is honestly don't worry too much about layers. I feel like it's a common thing that people are like, oh man, I gotta learn the layers and this and that. But I always tell people, like, you know, just start off with like one layer. Start off with just the basic pencil tool or brush tool or whatever. And don't worry too much about all the fancy schmancy features and bells and whistles that you see all the time that people use, like multiplies and clipping masks and all of that, because I think that can get really complicated really fast, right? Let's see here. How do you maintain long hours of work every day? Do you like to hear music or watching something while working? This might sound super silly. So I listen to music and stuff, and I take breaks when I can. But one of the things that I do is I actually rewatch my streams. And part of the reason why is because I like to make sure, like, I was like, did I actually have a good stream? Was I actually talking about good stuff? Or am I just like, was I just rambling the whole time? And so I use that time to critique myself when I'm listening back to my own streams, and I'm like, okay, I kind of like what I talked about here, or this part here was kind of meh. And so that's what I do. But not all the time. Just sometimes that's what I do. Other times I will watch other streamers, or I'll play a show. Like I'll play one of my old like favorite animated shows that I used to watch, like Avatar or Jackie Chan Adventures was one I finished recently. So being able to rewatch that while I work. But it has to be a show that I've already seen, if that makes sense. Like I can't watch a new show, because if I watch a new show, I'll just end up focusing on that show. So I usually try to find something that I've already seen before, so that way I'm not like super distracted by the plot and that kind of things. Where do you watch Jackie Chan Adventure? HBO. So HBO, I'm pretty sure HBO has it. No, not HBO. Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's the thinking and drawing in perspective that is hard for my brain to wrap around. And I think it just takes a little bit of practice. So I would definitely, say, do a little bit of the practice that we talked about today. So all the perspective stuff, all the proportion stuff, how to simplify the forms, I think are very kind of like key things to to practice and stuff. But I understand how you feel. It can be very scary for sure. I want to give him some more volume on this side. And then I want to kind of shift the eyes a little bit there. Yeah, let's see. You've been using Ben 10. You know, so people have told me about Ben 10 and I should watch Ben 10. But I've unfortunately I didn't grow up with Ben 10. It was just one of those shows that I missed as a kid, or when I was younger. Or maybe Ben 10 came after me. Like maybe I was too old for Ben 10. I'm not too sure. But yeah, no, it was unfortunately something that I missed. Thank you. What the heck? Thank you so much, Natasha, for the 10 gifted subs out here. The generosity today, guys, has been insane. Thank you so much for the gifted sub to Bix, Koito, Darling Devil, Clankton, Temi Hoy, Tricky Swamp Witch, Bird Unit, Rivlock, Morgan, After M, Sandoval 971, and Unholy Commander. Guys, I don't know what's going on. Can we get some claps real quick? Claps in the chat, guys. CLAP in the chat. For Natasha right there for gifting those 10 subs. Insane. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And thank you for the follows, everybody. Takamura, Sunny V. Are you guys back from the ad break, by the way? I know there was an ad break that happened earlier. I apologize for not letting you guys know. The ads do help keep my streams monetarily viable, and allow me to do what I'm doing out here. So I appreciate you guys still being here for the ad break, or being here after the ad break. You guys back? Are people back here? Want another timeout? Oh man, not the timeouts. Sheesh. You guys are back? Okay, cool. So let me just give a quick little intro for myself because I haven't introduced myself in a bit of time. And so let me go ahead and do that. And yeah. But yeah, welcome in everyone to the Kaycem crew. If it's your first time here, my name is Kaycem. I am a Filipino art streamer here on Twitch, and I teach everything from anatomy, gesture, perspective, and all things related to character design. I also work full-time in the animation industry for the studio that made Castlevania. So if you guys are interested in some free art education, or you guys are just looking to hang out with the stream on a Tuesday, do leave a follow out here. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure to subscribe later when this becomes a VOD and stuff. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy today's stream, and thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. But there you go. That's my YouTube intro. Not my that's just my general intro, actually. But yeah, for those of you who are here for the first time, I haven't actually asked this in a while, but if it's your first time here, how did you come across my stream today? How did you find my stream? Did you find it on recommended? Was it just the thumbnail? Did you see my title? Like, what, out of curiosity, you know, what brought you here today? And then right now I'm just going to go in and add some details to this. So this is what I'm working on right now, is just kind of cleaning it up a little bit, getting rid of let's get rid of that rough line art there. And let's actually start going in and cleaning up the hair, breaking it up, breaking up some of the forms, adding just a little bit of texture to the design here. But I don't want to overwhelm it as well, because that's a common, I think, mistake that sometimes we'll make with hair, is like over texturizing it and then losing out on the underlying form that's there. A lot of follows today. Arsenero, Eris, Sweet Pea, and everyone else who's here. Welcome in. The PCAT raid? Oh, really? Shout out to PCAT. I was actually chatting with PCAT yesterday. That's super funny. Now PCAT's great. We got a raid today. We got a raid earlier from let me see who it was. I'm not good with names. Something illustration. We got a raid earlier. I don't know if they're still here, but they did raid earlier. The art section. Okay, Twitch recommended you. I like digital art. It usually inspires me to draw. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. Welcome in, guys. Am I gonna color this? Maybe. You guys want me to? If you guys want me to color this, I need to speed up. So give me give me a second as I go ahead and draw this one out more. I'm just adding in all the textures right now. There's an art category I love to learn about character design, so I just clicked on you. Oh, sweet. Well, I'm glad you're here. Welcome in. There's not too many people, I think, that teach character design or teach art on Twitch. So the few of us who are here, you know, we try to do our best when we can. What is my canvas size? Oh yeah, I just use 4K resolution. So I take the iPad size here, I double it to 4K. But in terms of like DPI and stuff, I just use 300 DPI, pretty standard. I'm trying to think what else. That's it, double, so 4K resolution, 300 at 300 DPI. And I don't know the exact pixels, but I'll show you real quick. Canvas information. There you go. 4098 by 3072. And then 300 DPI. Yeah. Interesting how many new followers will come to your next streams. We need pool. I honestly I think I don't know. It's always so crazy when I get a lot of follows out here, because I don't know. I don't know what brings people in here. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, is it because of the drawing? Is it because of like just something I said? Is it, you know, like, I'm not sure, but I appreciate it either way. So thank you everybody who's coming in here. Okay, let me show you guys the before and after, because so that way you guys can kind of get an idea of what I mean when I say adding texture and stuff. Because all I'm really doing right now is taking those forms that we drew out earlier, and you can kind of see here. You see? We're just adding in texture. That's all we're doing. But all the underlying structure and form, we've already done the hard work for that. And so it's really all about now design choices and figuring out just how much detail you want to put in to your designs. And I think this is probably one of the more fun parts of the drawing process, because you can really go in and say like, hey, you know what? I really want to push some of the detail more here. I want to add more kind of fluff there, right? So I think the main thing that I focus on whenever it comes to drawing hair, especially something like this in the anime style where there's just so much volume and you know, a lot of exaggerated volume and a lot of like spikiness. It's a pretty common style you'll see in anime, right? Is like, how do you kind of keep that energy but keep it consistent as well? So this is how I would draw Denji in my style, for sure. I think this is the first time I've ever drawn Denji, actually. So it's kind of interesting how it's turning out, because the more I do it, the more I'm feeling like, you know what, this is actually not too, like, the style that he draws his characters in Chainsaw Man are actually not too far off in terms of the process about how I would draw the characters. If there's anything that might be a little different, is maybe like my style of certain features and stuff. I saw Puppy and stayed for the content in Bootcamp. I see. Thanks for the follows, everybody. Welcome in. Do you also share today's before and after sheet? Today's before and after? I share that for my subscribers, yeah. Pretty random, but your style reminds me of the new Hi-Fi Rush game that dropped recently. Oh, do you want to know why? Night? I'll tell you why. This is actually really interesting. Okay. So if you guys didn't know, the reason why my style is actually similar to the Hi-Fi Rush game is because I'm pretty sure there were people who worked on Hi-Fi Rush who also worked on Castlevania and worked at Powerhouse. I'm pretty sure at some point Hi-Fi Rush had some people who were from there. And that's probably why, which I think is really interesting. Thanks to Kaycem, Liquify is my best friend. Yeah, Liquify is cool. I think the good thing about Liquify is as long as the underlying structure and the drawing is there, I feel like you can really get some good good stuff there. Like Liquify is only as good as the underlying drawing that is there. So if your underlying drawing is not good, yeah, Liquify is not really going to help you too much, unfortunately. But if you're doing all right with your drawing and you just need to fix it up a little bit, yeah, I think so. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that there's some artists who contributed to Hi-Fi Rush that also worked at Powerhouse, whether currently or at some point in time. I don't remember where I saw it, but yeah. Your chat is over your drawing? Wait, what? My chat is over my drawing? What does that mean? Do you have Procreate tutorials on YouTube? There aren't many useful ones out there. Kind of. I mean, I use Procreate regularly, and then whenever people have questions, I'll answer it. So it's not like I have a check out this video for easy tips on Procreate kind of thing. It's more just like, if you have questions about Procreate, feel free to ask it in the chat, and I will do my best to give you advice based off of my understanding and experience with Procreate. You know, I know that's not like maybe what you're looking for, like a 10-minute video, like, hey, here's Procreate tips that you must know, but it's the best I can do. Do you have a favorite movie? Oh yeah, easily. Favorite movie always, every single time, no questions asked, no debate. Back to the Future. Oh shoot, my chat is over my drawings. That's what you mean. Thanks, guys. I see. My bad. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. I've just been drawing hair. Don't mind me. The chat overlays on top. Yes. Thanks, guys. But yeah, easily my favorite movie without a doubt has to be Back to the Future. Kaycem, how would you add texture and volume to long hair? We've done a lot of those, actually. Let me show you guys really quick. We've done, I think you guys will probably find, man, I don't know if I have it exactly, but so I've done this demo in the past where I've gone over different hairstyles and like how to break down the hair textures for different types of hair. And all you got to really do is just lengthen the hair there to lengthen the texture. So I would say that one is actually posted on Instagram, so you could take a look at that one. I think I might have posted a tutorial on how to draw hair now that I think about it. But that's kind of what I would say there is just do some of that. Understand and master the texture, and then after that you'll be good to go with everything else. But here's what I'm going to do, guys, because I want to wrap this one up and make sure it looks nice and clean before the end of stream. Give me like a minute. Give me like 2 minutes to just kind of do a speed drawing real quick, because while I can draw while talking, sometimes I'm just much better when I'm not talking. So give me a sec. I'll power through this one really quick, and then yeah, and then we'll continue with the stream and stuff. All right. Speed drawing right now. Okay. Let's do that. Do a little bit of that. Okay, looks good. And then let's do the back hairs here, which don't require as much texture, but I'm just gonna break up the forms there. Maybe we'll do some down hair here, like this. Get rid of all this. Okay. We'll do some textures in the back here. Something like that. Okay. And then let's do small, medium, large shapes. So I'm going to go kind of block in here like this. Like that. Okay. And then I'll go down like this. Kind of like that. All right. Liquefy some of that out. Push that in a bit. And then I think, honestly, aside from these like little specks of hair that we have right here, which I'm not really liking, so I'm gonna kind of just crop that out. Okay, let me flip the canvas a little bit here, make sure that looks good. Flipped. And I think we're basically done with this Denji hairstyle here. And we've drawn Denji. Yay! There you go. Hair. Hair, easy peasy. So fast. Lemon squeezy hair. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, there you go. But that's kind of what I would do for the hair there. Nice and fast. Nah, it took me a little longer than I expected, but I would say this right here is the before and after. You can kind of see how adding in that texture to the hair, but we're also keeping that underlying structure, right? So notice how I'm not, again, I'm keeping all the underlying forms because we don't want to lose the natural structure that we've established, all the hard work that we put in for gathering all the three-dimensionality and stuff, right? So what we're doing is we're applying texture on top of these forms and then getting a little bit of the, you know, the details that we have after there. But there you go. Yeah. Let's see here. Eating in your studio show. Yeah, you can do that. Thank you for the follows, everybody. Sydney, Sherb, Sammy, Joe. We got here Kiki Draws. Welcome in, guys. What's a good brush for line art? I would say take a look at my brush pack on Gumroad. I have a lot of line art brushes that I make and stuff. So all the brushes I use that you see on stream are all custom brushes. So but yeah, I would say this is my Denji drawing. Little rough around the edges, but for the most part pretty solid. Let me add some ambient occlusion to kind of really push it up a little bit there. What do you guys think? This is definitely not like, I don't usually draw characters like Denji. Like this is a very like anime-esque style for sure. Thank you for the follows too, Codeine. Have you had any more draw on your style events recently? No, but I might do one for next month if we hit 30K. Thanks for the puppy power. Here you go, puppy power redemption. Sheesh. Needs more eye bags. You know what? You might be right. You might be onto something. Let me add. let me add a few little lines there, because you know Denji's always a sleep deprived guy right there. But okay, I would say this is pretty solid for this drawing here. Again, I wanted to show you guys, the main reason why I chose this reference today was not because I wanted to draw Denji. I wanted just to show you guys really that despite whatever style you're going for, whether you're going for the more whether you're going for like a more anime style or you're going for a more realistic style, that regardless of all of that, having good general proportions, having good general structure is always going to be pretty consistent there. And even if you take a look at the anime proportions that we broke down here, the proportions are still relatively the same and they still kind of hold true. So regardless of style and stuff, having good form, having good structure will always pay off in the long run. Even if you're doing something crazy stylistic like SpongeBob or, you know, whatever, cartoony, even that has a sense of rule and form and structure, right? So, because I get this all the time. People always come in, you're like, Kaycem, I don't know about this because I do more of an anime style, right? This is more of my style, and it's like, it's the same. They're called fundamentals for a reason, you know. Okay, but let's merge. Let me show you guys a before and after. Okay, so this is what we started off with as my rough sketch. Okay, cleaned it up a bit with the face there, added in some details for the hair, and then there you go. Now what I'll probably do is I'll merge all this together, and I will take the torso here. And I'm also going to shrink it down a bit. Just trying to do a quick transform there. Cool. And then let me duplicate this. Multiply this, 40% opacity this. And then duplicate it again. Motion blur that. And we have here our Denji drawing.